What's happening, everyone? Well, happy Monday, boy. We're off to a good week. Great start. It's been one hell of a day. But anyway, anyway, I did was able to talk this morning. I'm just too busy. I got other stuff going on. It's good to take a break in the morning. But we're back in to do a quick little talk here about this. God, our president, guys. Like I said, like three-time Trump supporter here, man, and I can't stomach this guy. Like, I don't know about you guys, but I'm getting a little bit exhausted if I'm being completely honest. Like, I almost don't even like get on X anymore. It's like not even worth it. Like, I'm going back to like the olden days of like the 90s when I just listened to music. Like, I'm gonna go back and listen to Candlebox and the Deftones because I can't stand to listen to news about, about our president just constantly talking out of his ass. Like, it's just getting so frustrating. But anyway, the conversation for the day is I want to talk about this comment that Trump made in this hearing today, or his press conference, whatever you want to call it, about how we're just going to take Iran's oil. And I got me kind of thinking, it's like, well, how does that work? Like, what do you just go over there and just take the oil? Like, do you just declare it ours? Like, plant your American flag and like we just it's now our oil. Like I'm not quite sure what his big plan is there, but truth is that like it's a very complicated thing to just go over there and take the oil, right? And then Trump will say these other things like, like, oh, we're gonna charge a toll to go through the strait. Like it's gonna be like we're jumping on the highway over here. We got to pay a toll to jump on the highway to head up to Kansas City. It's like, geez Louise, wild times, guys. It's pretty interesting, dude. So okay. Anyway. So that's what we're talking about. We're going to talk about this press conference real quick. We're going to talk about what exactly is going through Trump's mind, right? So I believe that I know where Trump's going with all of this stuff, right? And it's ultimately all roads lead to China and Russia, right? And if we look at everything that Donald Trump's doing right now, we'll kind of see that he's trying to put China into a box, right? He's trying to put basically restrict all of China's oil flow that they have coming into their country. And if we look at the various different countries that China gets their oil from, that's his ultimate play. He says all this bombastic shit, and he's kind of a wild guy. But at the end of the day, that's really all he's trying to do. He's trying to basically get China into this corner so that he can bludgeon their head with energy, right? So he can get them to play ball on the subsidies that they give their factories. Play ball on the IP theft. Play ball on the buying property here in America. Play ball, with all the the issues that apparently America has. Even though we fund all of China's existence, it's all done by America. But apparently that's his plan. And then ultimately, the ultimate part of the game is that it leads into Russia, right? And again, if we look at where all these countries get their energy from, it's as plain as day to me, So anyway, why are you guys listening to me, right? Who am I? So my name is Eric Wilk, and I own the Splendid Crow here in St. Louis, Missouri. We are a fine furniture boutique company. We do about 500 pieces a year. We make all of our furniture right here in St. Louis, and it's a great little company. We've got 9 employees, and anyway, once a day we talk about something related to politics or current events, whatever you guys want to talk about. Whatever I see in the news is kind of interesting, and that's what we're going to talk about today. So if you guys are in the stream, I appreciate hitting the like button, out of the discussion, and again, put good comments in here. Let us know what your thoughts are on these things, and let's go back and forth about the issues. I generally don't read the comments that are BS, the people that want to talk about Fortnite and so on and so forth. We're not into that kind of stuff. So let's get after it. I appreciate everyone being here today, and happy Monday once again. So Donald Trump has his little press conference, right? He's saying all kinds of fun things. They're asking him, like, well, people say that you're crazy. The critics say you're nuts, and Trump's like, I listen to critics. And it's like everything with this guy is like a goddamn movie. I mean, isn't it like kind of like a movie, guys? It's like we got, what is this, 2026? We got, Donald Trump, is going to star in the movie Taking the Oil. It's like this is crazy, starring Donald, mushroom head Dick Trump, and co-starring, Lindsay, I'm totally not gay, Graham. And he's like, it's like everything is like not real. It's a weird time to be alive, right? I don't know what to do with this guy. And again, as a small business owner, like I'm supposed to like this guy. You guys, give me just a second. I'll say hi to everyone. But it's like I'm supposed to like this guy. I voted for him 3 times. I'm committed to this man as a president. But like, wow, what a Trojan horse this guy was. It's like I don't know if you guys agree with me on this thing, but again, I don't feel like this guy's doing anything that he ran. Like as a business owner, as like a normie dude. I was really excited to vote for Trump. And now, I hate to say, guys, but what's going to end up happening is all the independents that jumped ship from the Republican side or the Democrat side to vote for Donald Trump in 2024, they're gone. The Democrats that might have jumped ship, they're gone. And there's a lot of us that are actual like lifelong Republicans. We're voting Democrat to stop this guy. Like it's real bad, So anyway, here we go. So Donald Trump, what this guy's trying to do, I think again, if you guys have any if you think I'm right, let me know. If you think I'm wrong, let me know. I want you guys to bat it back and forth with me. But if you guys, let's look at where all the oil comes from, because this kind of tells what's going to happen in Iran right now. So, in order for Donald Trump to do the things that he's saying, I know he's always speaking, he's always talking shit, right? He's a man's man, so to speak. He's always talking shit, but in order for Donald Trump to actually take the oil in Iran, like, this is a massive country, guys. Like, this country is a quarter the size of America. Like, it's not small. There's 90 million people here, and it's not like all the oil is just on Karg Island, guys. Like, I don't know if people understand this. Like, there's a lot of places over there. So in order to actually strategically get the oil in Iran, you have to send ground forces in there to actually do something, and it's heavily mountainous. And again, it's like very much like Vietnam, where a lot of the Vietnamese were actually fighting in America underneath the ground. Like, they had just tons of caverns and networks all over the place. This is kind of the same deal, except like real fucking mountains. So it's a very different kind of a scenario. And I don't know, if most people understand exactly what is happening when Donald Trump uses this rhetoric, right? It plays nice to the camera. It flips out the media. The media lose their minds. Democrats don't seem to have anything to say, which is kind of odd. Everyone just loses their shit when this guy's talking. But here's what he's really doing. And again, if you guys are in the stream, I appreciate being here. Let's say hi to a few people, and I'll give you guys the nuts and bolts of it. It's all about China. It's all about Russia, right? And it's all about beating the last two countries that can challenge the United States. It's about beating them into submission. Okay, so. Who's in here? Okay, we got L Witch Doctor. Okay, you got a BS comment there. This is Marco Vendors. Man, I can't pronounce your name, man. 8919 says, hi, good to see you, dude. Nico's in here. Nico, good to see you. We got Cone on the bricks. What's news? All right, we're commenting right now. Happy Monday. Good to see you, Nico. All right, we got Cone on the bricks. I try to watch neutral news. Yeah, me too. I try and watch all different kinds of news. Like I said, I'm not a big fan of like Fox News and CNN, the traditional media, but I get a lot of news from like Breaking Points. I like Owen Schroyer. I like what's the other one? The Young Turks. I'll even listen to them. I like the righty guys. I'll even listen to Mark Levin and Dave Smith and all these guys, just kind of get different kinds of opinions about what's going on. So. Okay, the war is not going to be good at all, brother. I know, man. I'm not saying the war is going to be good, dude. I think it's a horrible idea. And actually, one of the things I got listed in my notes, guys, is we're going to talk about what could have happened had Donald Trump not done this. So I want to go over that with you guys, and you can put your comments in there. So you'd rather watch paint dry. All right, cool, man. Appreciate it. Again, I own a paint company, so I watch paint dry all the time. All right, yeah, I agree. See, Scotty NB 562. The war is not going to be good at all, brother. All right. See, Trump, the OG. Yeah, we'll see, man. Isaac Newton's in here. What can Trump Congress do to help housing affordability? Forget red or blue. I just want the American dream back. It's extremely frustrating. Yeah, Isaac, that's the thing I advocate for on this channel a lot. Is again, as a guy who just worked hard his entire life. I was a manufacturing worker for 20 years. I worked in the aerospace industry, got good enough to where I could start my own business, right? I was able to buy my own home when I was 21 or 22 years old. And I was always able to have nice cars. I was able to go on vacation, do all this kind of stuff, having a normal manufacturing job. So what I preach a lot on this channel is getting our economy back to being a blue-collar manufacturing type economy, because that's what led to what we have today. A lot of people like to tell us that it's academia and we're a service-based economy now, and we don't want to do those dirty jobs and all this kind of stuff. And none of that is in fact true. This economy needs to go back to a more of a manufacturing-based economy, not necessarily because it's better for the country in general, but because it gives more people work. It gives more people purpose. And the truth is, we've got a lot of people today that they don't have really good jobs. They can't afford anything. The Fed is literally printing money and inflating entire generations of workers away. Entire generations of people that could live the American dream. It's all being inflated away. And it's being done at the expense of the normal middle class, blue collar type worker, for the person that is in finance, for the large corporation, for the guy that likes to trade stock, that is in speculation, right? Or that is tech companies. That everything is being inflated away to basically support all of these industries. And it's a bad deal, So, all right, guys, let me get to the bulk of my discussion. See a few more people here. We got who's Lou Becker, 8784. I usually don't talk to women unless they feed me. All right, cool, man. I appreciate that. Let's see, Caden Hall 247. You bought a home at 20. Yes, I bought a home in 21 in Wichita, Kansas. All right, Lou Becker 8784 was the first. Was that supposed to be a insult or just put worded wrong? I don't know, Nico. I got no idea. Nico, whatever the hell your name is. All right, Jesus loves you. All right, cool. Okay, so let's talk about this energy thing. Let's talk about China. Let's talk about Russia. And what is Trump really doing in Iran? Okay. And I talk about this quite a bit. It's not, this is, I don't think I have any new revelation here. But here's the thing. So, what Trump's trying to do is, again, he's talking all this shit on Iran. He's constantly just spewing all this. We're going to take the oil. We're going to charge a toll to go through the strait. We need Europe to go to this. Europe needs to help us. We need help from everybody. He's coming to help America. And he's just talking gobs of shit. And everyone's focusing on NATO. Everyone's focusing on what's going on in the strait, right? Everyone's focusing on the military, right? Everyone's focusing on what Trump's saying. Everyone's focusing on the high cost of energy. And the truth is, all Trump has tried to do is he is just trying to make sure that China does not have access to energy. Okay, now let me go over where the energy comes from, right? How's Trump's plan been working so far? Again, the truth is his plan's working really good. And again, I don't agree with any of this shit, by the way, but I see it for what it is, right? So what happened with Trump is that he tried to do the tariffs thing. Trump's been around for a long time. He's always talked about tariff in China. He's one of these guys that wants to bring China to heel because they're a communist country. And yes, some people say there are glimmers of capitalism there, but trust me, it's not as capitalistic as people make it out to be. But anyway, so Trump's been one of these guys. He hates this country, right? He doesn't like what they've done. He doesn't like how they took American jobs. He doesn't like all the subsidies that the CCP provides to all the manufacturing sectors. He doesn't like that they steal IP. So the only way that Donald Trump can actually affect this country in a meaningful way is to strangle them on the energy front. Okay, so listen to this. So the way the numbers break down, and give me some rope here because I don't have them directly in front of me, but essentially China was getting about 11% of all its oil from Venezuela, right? So Trump goes into Venezuela, cut off, done. No more energy there, okay? China was getting about 20% of its oil from Iran, okay? Now, he's trying to make that thing gone, okay? So what that's going to leave China with essentially to provide the bulk of their energy is going to be Russia, right? Which they get a little over 40% of their energy. I mean, it's obviously going to be more at this point. So Trump has literally cut off a quarter to a third of all China's energy. And the thing about China that people don't talk about is when they're getting that energy from Iran, what they're doing is they're essentially labeling or re-badging the ships, right? So you might have ships coming in from Thailand. You might have ships coming in from Malaysia, right? And they're getting into China. How do I word this? They're getting into China even though they're being sanctioned, right? So there's a lot of sanctions placed on Iran. And the truth is that when they bring that oil in, they're bringing it at massive discounts. So China's actually winning twice by bringing these ships in that are being rebadged with different countries. They're getting that oil in at like a 60 cents on the dollar. Right, so a lot cheaper. So they're getting a ton of oil from a place they're not supposed to get oil from, and they're getting it dirt cheap. Right, I talked about this the other day. China uses a lot of what are called teapot refineries. This pretty cool article. It's on Al Jazeera talking about how these little tiny refineries work when when you're buying this cheap sanctioned oil. So go check it out. It's pretty cool. But anyway, so what's happening is you got China being strangled by not being able to get energy from Venezuela anymore. Not be able to get anything from Iran right now, hardly be able to get anything from Iran right now, even though Trump is letting, Trump is letting certain tankers through the Strait of Hormuz right now, which is kind of funny. You're supposed to have these crazy sanctions on Iranian oil and these crazy sanctions on Russian oil. And again, he's like, this energy thing kind of sucks, so we're going to let these guys take their oil wherever they want to take it. Okay, so China's going to get kind of boxed into a corner, right, when they're not going to get energy. And the truth is the problem that is really going to hit China is going to hit at about the end of the month, right? So what's going to happen is they're basically going through their reserves right now. A lot of countries are. Everyone's starting to go through their reserves and starting to tap into these things. And towards the end of the month, guys, you are going to see the actual crunch hit from this energy not only not getting to the refineries and not to the countries that they're supposed to get to, but you're going to see that these strategic reserves that a lot of these countries have, they're going to have to really start weighing whether or not to disperse that energy. Okay, now, how do I know this? Okay, so my wife's from India, and the truth is that when she talks to her family over in India, they're already feeling the squeeze right now. So everyone in India cooks with gas. No one cooks with electricity over there, right? So again, the rationing on LNG has already started in the country of India, okay? The rationing of oil has also already started in the country of India. Okay, so you're already starting to see this rationing of oil. If you go out to what was it? Somewhere was it England? I believe it. No, maybe it was. No, I think it was France. You go to France right now, you can't get jet fuel, right, for commercial flights. Or they're having you pay a massive premium for jet fuel. So you're already starting to see these energy complications start to happen. Well, what's going to happen is China's going to have to make a choice. And Trump knows this. Like Trump is literally trying to. He tried the tariff thing. The tariff thing didn't work. The Supreme Court shut him down. Everyone in America fucking pissed and moaned about it. And so now he's trying the energy thing. If he can get China to capitulate on some of the BS that they're doing over here to America, by way of the subsidies, the unfair trade practices, the stealing of intellectual property, so on and so forth. If you can get them to capitulate on some of that stuff, get them to decouple from Russia, they can then have easy access to energy here in America through Venezuela, through Iran, through Saudi Arabia, right? Which they do get energy from now, but add Qatar, right? Add Kuwait, all these other. They can have easy access to energy if they will decouple from Russia, right? Which Russia is the end boss. Russia is where they want to go, So I think what's getting ready to happen right now is China is weighing the odds, right? China is having these discussions with Russia right now, and they're trying to figure out, man, what the fuck do we do here? Like, is this a lever we really want to pull? Like, do we want to go in with the country of Iran because we know what is coming down the pipeline, And I don't know, man. I don't know what's going to happen, but that's kind of how I see this thing shaking out, And again, if Trump can beat Iran into submission, the rest of these dominoes start to fall. And then, yeah, maybe this guy can go down in history as being the guy that brought world peace to the to the globe. Like, I don't know, man. It seems plain as day what this guy's trying to do. I don't know if you guys agree. Let me know what you think. Let's see what you guys have to say. Again, guys, hit the like button, add the discussion as always. Hit the subscribe button. Once a day, we try and talk about a current event from a normie point of view. Again, got a small business here in St. Louis. We got 9 employees. We do about 500 pieces of custom and production furniture. We are known for that high gloss lacquer coating that you see your face in. 94% of my customers are women. I do not sell furniture to men. Right, which is I think kind of a unique thing, So you guys can go to theresplendentcrow.com if you want to see the furniture that I sell. So. All right, here we go. Who's in here today? All right, coming back. Oh my God, Titan's in here. Thanks, Titan. I didn't know you were here yet, man. I was just running my mouth here. Okay, Just News 9738. All right, that's what you're saying there. We got Jamar Bailey. All right, man. I'm sure you're saying. Let's see. Why U.S. people is tolerant about Trump. This is Sabaton. Why U.S. people is tolerant about Trump. So yeah, this is something I can't figure out, guys. Like I said, I don't think that many people are tolerant. I don't know anyone that supports any of this shit. If you guys go on X and you go to, I guess, Fox News, seems like there's a lot of support, I don't understand it. I don't know what you guys think. Do you guys support all this stuff? Because it seems like online you can find some of the support, but I don't trust any of it. I don't know anyone that supports any of this stuff. And I know a lot of people that are actually like really depressed by what's going on here. Because truth is that like a lot of people put a lot of faith in Donald Trump. I mean, they really rallied for this guy to do the thing that voters have been asking for a long time, which is, beat the corruption, release the Epstein files, fight the deep state, right? Go after these people that opened up our country to all these illegal immigrants, right? In certain ways, fight a country like China from a tariff standpoint and get the third world out of here. Like there were a lot of people that really invested a lot in this man, and people feel betrayed. It's there's a lot of that going on. So dude, I don't think a lot of people here support it, but you got to stay out of the news, man. You got to stay off social media. X is the worst. You just gotta, you gotta follow your heart and just think. You gotta listen to common sense, So anyone that tells you that this whole war effort over in Iran is justified and is going to be better for America, like I don't know anyone in real life that thinks that. You'll see some of this stuff here online, but most people don't have real good reasons. They'll just say, I like this war. I like, Donald Trump. Yay, America, fuck yeah, all these kind of things. I don't know anyone in real life that thinks that way, So, but I appreciate your comment, man. All right, Trump's a clown in the world's eyes. Yeah, I think so. This is Vilkin. Yeah, it sucks, man. Like I said, I'm one of these guys. Like I don't support NATO. I haven't supported NATO for 15 years, and I tell you guys all the time. That is a small business owner and a guy that employs middle-class people. What I see us doing in this country to the middle class is just disgusting. Childcare is unaffordable. Healthcare is now pretty much unaffordable. You pretty much have to have a corporate job, right? You got to work for a place like Starbucks, or you got to work for a large company like Walmart, or you got to work for, whatever, like a JP Morgan Chase in order to get affordable healthcare, right? To get affordable benefits. If you want to do something like I do and like start a small business, like good luck. You're not going to have the benefits. You're not going to have the access to the stuff that these large corporations have. And it sucks. So the average premium for healthcare in this country is $25,000 for a family of 4. Now, where am I going with this? Okay. So when we defend Europe by way of NATO, right? And when everyone says, "Oh my God, NATO is it's a North Atlantic Treaty Organization. It's a whole bunch of countries." No, it's just America, right? Europe doesn't pay for its own defense. It really doesn't. It America pays for everything with our $1 trillion defense budget. Europe has universal health care, has universal child care, incentivizes people having kids by cutting their taxes to have children, right? Convincing moms to stay home, have kids, cut off all their taxes, right? These are good things. We don't have any of that in America. Again, like fighting Israel's war over here in the Middle East. Israel, universal healthcare, universal childcare, promotes the family, right? Promotes having kids. They're having I think they're having like 4 or 5 kids per woman over there. I mean, they're just breeding like rabbits, but we can't get anyone to have kids here. We're like 1.5 people per woman. Like, it's disgusting, so we're protecting countries that have all the shit that we don't have here in America. So this is one of the things I talk about a lot on this stream, because I think it needs to change. And again, we thought Donald Trump would be some of that change, right? Not all of it, but just some of it. And the truth is like, we're just getting all the same. It's all just war, buy weapons, fund the military industrial complex. Maybe we get the 9th or 10th year the Department of Defense won't pass an audit, So, it's just the American people aren't getting what they voted for, and it's too bad. So, all right, see, this is a KM 1983 CM. Not much we can do when they have all the power. I know, man, it's tough. I'm the guy that talks about tax revolt. I'm one of these guys that talks about we need one state that will stick up for its people and it will fight the federal government. And then when that happens, you'll figure out what state is for what, and you could potentially get a change. But there's no other way to change it, in my opinion, because when you try and vote for someone who really appeals to you, it seems like they're going to do the thing that you've been waiting for a long time, and then they just completely do a 180. Like, man, it is really disheartening. And I think a lot of people feel that, and that's why I keep doing these casts. I keep talking about this stuff. I think I've done a live stream now, I think every day for like 2 months at this point. And I keep bringing this up because I don't want to let this topic die. It's really important to me. So, Blue Moon today. All right, more comments. Who else is in here? We got Composite Square. That's an interesting name. All right, Jim Rat's in here. Trump lives rent-free in the Democrats' heads 24/7. Yeah, he lives rent-free in my head, dude. And I got other shit to worry about. He lives rent-free in a lot of people's heads, because the guy he's fucking Energizer Bunny, man. He just nonstop. And again, when you got that much power, you got a big military and everyone who wants to use it, man, it's tough, man. Like I said, and Jim Rat, like you've been on here a lot. I appreciate you coming back, but is it possible to be critical of Donald Trump? Do you like what Donald Trump is doing? If you do, man, let me know what you like. I want some specifics, right? We don't seem to get a lot of specifics here. All right, P4 personality. Same with Russia, I believe. All right, not sure exactly what you're saying there, P4 personality. Again, I think Russia's the end boss. I think China is like, oh God, what's that Bigelow? The Bigelow guy, Mike Tyson's Punch Out. The guy before Mike Tyson. I think Russia's the end game here. So let's see. KM says, and Biden and Obama in y'alls. Oh yeah. So people always love to talk shit on old Obama. The further we get back from Obama, the more presidential that guy looks. Like, I don't agree with anything that he did as a president, but he does kind of have you got to be honest. The guy, spoke well. He was like a great, leader on the world stage to represent our country. So I don't agree with, like I said, nothing that the guy did. My healthcare went up. Like, my healthcare doubled the minute that guy passed the ACA. So I don't think much of that guy. All right, a MAGA hat is always empty, even when it's being worn. Ha ha ha! That's so funny. Who's this? 007007. Go look inside a MAGA hat, smarty pants. All right, cool, dude. All right, let's see. This is Lewis in Tabham. All right, you're from Madagascar, man. That's really cool. I've never been out that way. Okay, Zapadi. Okay, the spirit of J. Edgar Hoover has a file on all of. Yeah, I guess so, man. Maybe again. Speaking of J. Edgar Hoover, like a lot of people I've noticed are kind of forgetting about the Epstein files, right? And I think it's something that, once again, we're not going to talk the Epstein files per se here, but I want you guys to remember this thing is not dead. The Epstein files have not gone away. They're still very much there. We're still missing 3 million files, by the way, that Congress told the FBI to release, the Department of Justice to release. So there's a lot of unanswered questions in those files, and that thing's coming back around. right? Again, you saw Pam Bondi; she got shit canned probably because of how she handled the Epstein files. You got Cash Patel. I believe he perjured himself in front of Congress when he said there were no co-conspirators in the Epstein files. I think that guy's next. I think his days are numbered. You got Howard Lutnick is the Secretary of Commerce, right? Also a very good friend of Jeffrey Epstein and was in business with Jeffrey Epstein and lived right next to him. Lied about his relationship on camera. That guy's out too. I think he might make it to the end of the year, but that guy's gone. So Cash Patel's next. But again, those files, they're coming back, guys. Those files are not over. This war thing is sucking up a lot of oxygen, guys. But the truth is in those files. You want to know why this war is going on? There could very well be a little bit of the Epstein element as to why Trump agreed to even go do this, So don't forget about those files. All right, see, ask questions on topic, make meaningful comments. Yep. Again, the Titan, I hit that the very first part of the stream. All right, I support ICE 1,000,000%. Me too. This is Michael Stevens. And again, where's our deportations, guys? You guys, what do you think about that? You feel like that should have happened? That should not have happened? Like, it seems like that was a campaign promise. That didn't seem to happen. We got, I think there was $180 billion allocated in the one big beautiful bill for that. Doesn't seem to happen, So apparently that's not going to happen either. So that kind of sucks. All right, Todd Gack 33. Where are they coming? All right, Jim Rat Trump is amazingly, truly appreciate everything he's doing. Okay, cool, Jim Rat, that's good. But so just like everything. Okay, well, I'm not going to ask you for specifics. I get it. All right, Jim Rat loves Trump. All right, cool, man. I appreciate the insight. There's a lot of people that do. All right, oil up, bro. Yeah, I know we all need to oil up. Oil is up. Oil up to what's oil up to? Like 114 a barrel or something like that. Again, it's gonna get bad, guys. Those ground troops they launched an invasion into Iran. You guys are gonna see $150 oil. It's not gonna go away. I don't know about you guys. I filled up my SUV the other day. It was over $100. I've never seen that before. I got an old piece of shit Volkswagen Touareg that I drive around, the V8, and yeah, never seen that before. So that was fun. All right, Athena Gillespie. Let's see. Can we see your products and stay out of politics? No, Athena Gillespie. You gotta have. It's both. Okay, I like politics. I think as a business owner, it's always never great to talk politics. But again, when we live in times like this, we can't all just be who you want us to be. We're all real people. And again, you risk alienating your clients, but at the same time, I don't. I can't do the dance for everyone, right? I'm not one of these YouTube woodworkers. I actually have a real company, and in order to show you guys my products, we actually have to make those products. And if you have to shoot video and do the YouTube thing around all the furniture, it's very difficult to run a business. So I'm not one of those people that plays business owner and makes my money someplace else. So Athena Gillespie, I appreciate your comment, but you just have to take the both for now. Again, at some point, I'm sure I'll stop doing the live streams. But again, this is a kind of a way to vent and to purge, if I'm being completely honest. So, all right, we got White Girl Magic, race and IQ question. Which parents' genes are said to have the strongest inheritance and IQ of offspring, especially in males? Which race scores lowest IQ test? I have no idea, man. But great comment. I appreciate your comment there, White Girl Magic. All right, Titan Brew. 8493, see the host business and products. Yep, go to theresplendentcrow.com. You guys want to see it? Got lots of it there. All right, Berserk Zerg is in here. King Hippo. All right, man. Says hi. We got Eric 696 in here. Good to see you, dude. We got Zip Ada Duda. Okay, I have an official 26 bag of cap that's signed by our leader. It's now worth $50,000. All right, man. Good for you. All right, keep the genes strong. Stop keeping people alive who have funny shaped head. Okay, man. I'm not sure what you're saying, dude. Appreciate it. Barlow, watching from Colorado, man. Cool, man. Glad you guys are here. I like you for. Let us know where you guys are at. Let us know what it is you do. I do a lot of talking about how people make money on this cast. What industries are paying well, what industries are needing workers, what industries are again doing well in this economy that we're in. Because again, we got a lot of people that are not struggling, but they're having to work 2 or 3 jobs. Right, the pay isn't what it used to be because the worth of money is not what it used to be. We talk a lot about the Fed here. We talk a lot about printing money, inflation, stuff like that, and it's nice to hear people talk about what it is that they do. So, all right, comment topic: Iran, Trump, Strait of Hormuz, etc. All right, yeah, that's what we're talking about, guys. We're talking about where's Trump going, right? When he gets on all these, when he's doing these press conferences and just starts spewing at the mouth, Where's this thing going? Like, is Trump is Iran going to capitulate? Like, I don't think they are. Do you guys think Iran's gonna? Every time Trump says, "Oh, I'm gonna bomb into the Stone Age," like we're just gonna take the oil, like we're just gonna blow up all the bridges, we're gonna blow up all their infrastructure, we're just gonna blow up everything, we're gonna bomb them back into the Stone Age. Like, believe it or not, this used to be considered war crimes. There was a time when the world would prosecute people for this kind of stuff, and apparently all that's gone. And again, I'm not one of these isolationist sissies, right? I think that when war is justified, you go fuck people up and then you come home. But I don't think we're in those times anymore. When you got problems here at home, let's go fight a war. How many times has that been done in history? That seems kind of like Trump's play here, if I'm being completely honest. So all right, let's see. The tariffs are specifically made to tank the market and let the rich rebuy or let the bank off to restabilization of the market. I mean, how did you lose in your 401k for that to happen? Well, that could be something. I don't. Again, at some point we got to get deflation in this economy. Like at some point, I don't know. People. The problem with experts, guys, and the problem with people that go to college, and the problem with academics, and the problem the people that go to Wharton School of Business is that they constantly think that we can grow the economy, right, and outpace inflation, or we can grow the economy so that the debt doesn't actually matter. We can just keep spending as we're growing, right? We can keep this bitch going. And the truth is, guys, it's never worked. It hasn't worked in my lifetime. And they keep talking like that's what's going to solve the problem, guys. And the truth is, it isn't. At some point, we need a deflationary situation, and that's basically a recession or depression. And again, it's a doomer, gloomer kind of a thing. But again, when I listen to the investment people, the people that talk about how the economy really works, they all say the same thing. Like there's just basically we're just slow rolling this thing over the cliff. It's like we could just go off the cliff in spectacular fashion, a la fucking Thelma and Louise, and pick ourselves back up in a year or two and probably have an economy that works for a lot more people that's on a much more stable footing. But I don't think anyone has a stomach for it, So we're probably just going to keep doing what we're going to do. And, again, when we go fight all these wars, guys, whenever we like snatching the people out of Venezuela, if we were to get Greenland, if we were to get the tolls from the Strait of Hormuz, get the oil from Iran, like how does that make your guys' lives better? like it doesn't. You don't see any of that money. Your energy doesn't get any cheaper. It never gets any cheaper. It's very rare, even though a guy like Trump, who went to the Wharton School of Business, should understand basic supply and demand. You guys ever notice like no one really wants to up the supply on anything? Even though we do have more access to more energy than ever, you guys rarely see your energy bills actually come down, which is kind of interesting. So, all right, Burrito M5, see, rest in peace, Charlie Kirk, Jesus Christ is King. All right, man, thanks. Titan is the word police. I don't know if he's the word police. Just put in a decent comment, man. Put in some effort. Like you're gonna hang out. You wanna put some in the chat. Put something that means something. Otherwise, yeah, he's just gonna get rid of you. All right. All right, I'm the comment. I'm the comment on topic. Be relevant and don't spam, please. Price fixing. I don't know if there's price fixing, guys, but there's. I think there's just a lack of competition in this country, guys. I think there's a lack of competition. There could be a little bit of collusion, right? When you don't have a lot of competition, it's very easy for particular sectors of the economy to collude together. I think that's one of the reasons your guys' housing went up so much. I think that's one of the reasons insurance has gone up so much. Again, when you don't allow competition to come into America, what do you think happens in the insurance market? Right? If your only choice is to buy an automobile is a Tesla, General Motors, a Toyota, a Ford, or a Honda, right? These are your choices. You're going to get what you're going to get, right? Meanwhile, you got a country out there that has an automobile that sells for about $12,000, right? Probably super easy to repair, right? You probably don't need to just junk the fucking thing when you break a headlight, like with all the automobiles we have here in America, right? That would be kind of nice to bring that in here, but we won't do it. We don't want to do it, because God, heaven forbid you get the price down on products. They won't do it, So I don't know, man. I don't think it's necessarily price fixing, but I think there's a little bit of collusion for sure. Okay, see, hello, greetings from France. France, all right, man, good to see you. Dennis Holzman. Dennis Holzman, if you're in France, tell us, do you guys have universal health care, universal child care? Do you guys offer any incentives for families once they start having kids? I've done some reading about this topic, and it seems like you guys got it pretty good over there in Europe. I know you pay a lot more in taxes, but it seems like you have a lot of what apparently Americans want, So we talk about France from time to time. All right, I'm Waterhouse Man. All right, cool. Not sure what you're saying there, dude. Dennis, let us know what you got going on there. I'm curious. If you're really in France, I want to hear about it, man. All right, working 2 to 3 jobs is not struggling. Whoa, no, it is struggling. Maybe I misspoke there. Yeah, people shouldn't have to have two or three jobs. Again, you have a second job in many cases because you want more out of life, right? You want more than kind of the average. Maybe you want to get better at something. Maybe you're saving up to buy something that is outside of your income bracket. I think that's a completely normal thing. But when you're working two or three jobs to afford fucking rent, like I don't think the economy is working for enough people. That's again, we talk about that all the time on the stream, and I've talked about how um, everyone always says, you got to pay people a living wage, got to pay them a living wage, right? Well, one of the problems with paying a living wage, guys, is that when you take a person who's making anywhere from $30,000 to $50,000, and then you raise their income up to say maybe $60,000 to $80,000. Well, what happens is all those benefits they had when they were making that lower wage, they go away. And then it's like, well, great. So now I got to work more. And now I got to go to this fucking job every day. And now the benefits that I used to have, I no longer get. And oh, yeah, if I got to pay full price for them because I make a normal middle class wage, guess what? I don't get those benefits anymore. And again, a lot of us business owners, the small business guys, we don't have $25,000 for every employee to go out and buy them healthcare. It doesn't work. And eventually it will. But this is the stuff that we talk about. Life has become so unaffordable for so many people. You either have to be dirt fucking poor or really well off. If you're anywhere in the middle, it's just a struggle, and it's too bad. All right, let's see. This is double. See, okay, it's what do we got? 18 AFG. It's like stealing something for yourself because you don't have it. Yeah, man, I guess so. Mike Cherry's in here. Mike, good to see you, dude. Canada's also waiting for Trump to go nuts tomorrow as we are at 100% capacity in oil. Yeah, we'll see what happens. I know. Good old Canada, man. You got something special up there. I'll tell you what. All right, Mr. Lono, the economy was set to this standard because of the feminist movement convinced women that they have to be in the workforce. Yeah, this is Mr. Lono. Yeah, I've talked about that a lot. Like I said, I think that was a big mistake. The whole feminist movement, and they kind of duped women into thinking how much better it would be if they worked, right? If they got into the labor force. And, the grand conspiracy is that, well, that was awfully convenient for all the men that were making a living wage and could support a family. Now you've got all this extra labor, and so that meant that they could essentially drive down the wages, for everyone. And I don't know if I believe that or not, but where I come at it from on the feminist front is is on the academia side, right? Again, for some reason, there's something about academia that just warps women's minds. And it's not that women can't be smart and should be educated. That's not what I'm saying. But they're very susceptible to the ideas of things like safety culture, hate speech, clean air, clean drinking water, climate change, those kind of things. Whereas I think men are much more apt to see through that bullshit, and then when you get a bunch of other women around a bunch of other women that are all, talking about this shit, it just gets ingrained in their psyche. And then they come out of there, becoming the heads of HR and then just completely destroying the workplace, So anyway, I worked in manufacturing for a long time. I had to deal with HR. It was rough. So let's see here. Brings the wages down. Yeah, I get what you're saying. See, they are emotional and don't vote logically. Yeah, I agree. But again, I'm not here to bash women. Like I said, love women. Women are a lot of my customers, most of my customers. And, it's just, again, I think that the whole feminism thing just went maybe a little bit too far. And again, we have this kind of pussified culture that we have today, in large part because of it. And whatever, it is what it is. All right, Mark Jordan, 9490s. Glad we have the NHS in the UK. Don't need to get private health insurance. Yeah, and again, we talk about that from time to time. And again, it's one of the things that we Americans detest about you Europeans. And again, I'm saying that to be kind of a dick, right? We don't like the fact that you guys don't really have to pay for your own defense. You basically have America to backstop everything that would go wrong in your neck of the woods. And so you can afford things like healthcare and childcare and promoting the nuclear family. And we don't have that here in America. Insurance is wildly unaffordable, and we have this insane $1 trillion military budget, moving up to 1.5 trillion, by the way. And again, a lot of the places that we defend don't. They have all the shit that we want here in America, and it can get a little frustrating, And again, France is great country. I love France. I got a ton of your handbags and a ton of your coats, thanks to my wife. She just loves Chanel. It's like, yeah, I need to buy stock in Chanel. So yeah, you guys have you got the fashion thing on lock there. Okay, let's see. Women have never voted anything good for humanity. Well, I don't know about that. The way I look at it, when my wife talk about this kind of stuff, it's always a fun discussion. The way I explain to people is that women generally do things that are in the interest of women. And they're, for whatever reason, when they start businesses, usually it's going to be a business that's pro woman or is more geared towards women. This is generally what they do. Whereas men, they just want everything. We want it all. And so if we got a product that can help a woman, we'll invent that. If it's a product to help a man, we'll invent that. We just want to be everywhere and on everything and do everything and just crush all the competition. Women, I don't think, are quite designed that way. So the stuff that they come up with, their contributions to humanity, society, whatever, they're just different. I don't know if they're better or worse. Okay, let's see, Mr. Lono. One is the king of his castle. All right, man. This is Zippity Doodah. Great name. No suffrage ever, right? Yeah, okay. Anyway, okay, guys. So one of the things I want to talk about real quick. Let's see. Hold on. So I wanted to talk about what would life look like had Donald Trump just done what he ran on. I figure this would be a great way to close out. I don't have a ton of time today, but what would life be like had Trump not done a complete 180? Where would this country be? What kinds of things would be happening right now? So put it in the comments. I'm going to go through how I think it would have been. And then you guys could let me know how you guys think it would have been, because I got some thoughts. So here we go. So what are some of the things that Trump ran on, right? So Trump ran on basically kicking out illegals, ending foreign conflicts, closing the border, and cutting taxes. This was like the key things that Donald Trump ran on. Again, I tell you guys all the time, he won the popular vote. He won the swing states, which almost never happens for Republicans. So that means a lot of people jumped ship from the Democrat side to vote for Donald Trump, and a lot of the independents jumped ship and decided to vote for Donald Trump. So his message was good, right? You can't deny the message was good. What would it be like today if Donald Trump just did what he ran on? Okay, well, right now, you would have the closed border like you have, which is probably a good thing. Okay, the other thing is mass deportations. You would probably have more dead protesters. You would have maybe a mini civil war going on in this country right now in states like Illinois, where I live, in Minnesota, in California, in New York. You'd have a lot of pissed off people. But let's just say, for the sake of playing the game here, that Trump was like, I don't give a shit. This is what people voted me to do. We're grabbing everyone. We're throwing them out. We're putting them, in cages. We're going to boot them on over the border, all this kind of stuff. Like, that would be going on. You would have just a wild situation here in America, right? You think that it's bad now with the war in Iran. Imagine what would be happening if you had mass deportations in this country right now. ICE going from town to town, whatever. Who's the other one? CPB going through there. Like, it would just be absolute chaos right now. No one would be talking about Iran. The oil price, though, would you be paying about, what would it be, about $1.20? Excuse me, $2.20 a gallon. You've had $2.25 a gallon, which would be kind of nice. The cost of the inflation that we're going to see, the inflation that we're starting to see because of the cost of energy, that would be much lower. The cost of shit would be normal. Doesn't seem like it'd be that bad, right? Other things like, the tariffs, right? What if Trump had actually implemented the tariffs like he had initially wanted to? 50% tariffs on China, 46% tariffs on Vietnam. I think I'd be okay. A lot more businesses would be hiring Americans, right? Businesses that have been building all this shit in China right now would be clamoring for American workers, because guess what? Business owners aren't going to go back out on the fucking shop floor, right? They'll just find people to do the work here in America. They'll eat it on the margin side for a little bit, and they'll just hire Americans. Your guys' salaries would probably be going up, right? Maybe you wouldn't have to have that extra job, that weekend job, because again, tons of American businesses will be looking to hire people. I think maybe it's Eric's grandiose vision of how I think things would be, but we'd still have the tax cuts, because again, a Republican never saw a tax cut that he didn't want, so you guys would still have that going on. But yeah, America would look very different right now had we not done this Iran bullshit and Trump had just focused on the stuff that he ran on. I think America would be in better shape. It'd be much more interesting news, by the way. I'd much rather have Americans fighting Americans, right, and arguing about how America's supposed to run and what's fucked up about this country than trying to take over a completely sovereign country. Like I just can't wrap my head around that. We got so much stuff to work on here. Trump, ran on going after the Democrats that tried to put him in jail. Like he ran on, going after that Tish James bitch. He ran on, whatever, trying to, figure out what the hell happened during the Joe Biden administration. Maybe taking Alejandro Mayorkas and bringing him in front of Congress, asking him some questions like, why did you let 10 million people in here illegally? Like it would be nice if Trump did these things that he was preaching about for years, but I don't know. I don't know if we're better off, guys. This is some people seem to like what Trump's doing, man. I can't get my head around it, guys. I think it's horrible. I mean, I should say never, but I hadn't seen as much business as I had seen when Trump put those tariffs in since COVID. Like I was doing 1,500 pieces a year during the COVID years, right? I do 500 now, which is fine. But when Trump put those tariffs in, guys, like I shit you not, my American-made furniture brand, we saw increased sales like significantly, like 30-40%. I mean, it was working. And the stuff that I'm always preaching to you guys about Americans making American products to sell to other Americans, like it was working. Like I don't know what else to tell you. Maybe you didn't see what I saw, but I saw my numbers 100%. And now that these tariffs have fallen off, we've got, what was it, 10%? Now I think it's back to 15% for like blanket tariffs. The Supreme Court shot down the last batch of tariffs, and it's just, I mean, no one knows what the hell is going on now. And sales, sales are fine, but I think the tariffs are working, guys. I really do. As an American furniture maker who makes American products using American paints, American plywoods, American hardwoods, and hires American employees, like it was working. So I don't know what you guys think. Let me know what you guys think. Let's go with your comments, guys, and I'm probably gonna get out of here. So let's see what we got going on here. All right, see Jared York says, fuck ICE. Okay, man, cool. Zippity dude, deport Jared York. All right, Mr. Lana says, I agree on the tariffs. Let's go ICE. ICE is amazing. Yeah, well, I don't know if ICE is amazing, but I just want the rule of law followed. That's the only way I like to say. You want to give everyone amnesty? Give them amnesty. And then we can go on to working on other issues, Otherwise, you need to enforce the law. And again, no one wants to do anything. We just always want to look the other way. We always want to focus on dumb shit. And it gets a little frustrating from time to time. So let's go start a war because things aren't going here at home. It's like Trump had a great message, guys. He really did. So, all right, guys, I appreciate everyone hanging out today. I do most of my chats at 6 o'clock in the morning. We talk about a current event. We talk about something to do with politics, or like I said, whatever people want to talk about. I'll put a thumbnail up there. We go wherever the people in the chat want to go, generally speaking. I try and keep us on point a little bit. We got a couple moderators that help us out and get rid of all the bullshit comments. So we generally have more high quality comments because, again, the moderators just tease out the ones that are no good, low value comments. And that's kind of what we do. So you guys want to know how an American furniture company works, right? Guy never graduated high school, figure out how to do this thing. That's what we do here. I show you guys how to build furniture, how to run a business, how to work with paint, how to work with metals, all these kind of things. So that's what we do right here in St. Louis. So, all right, last couple of comments. Kathleen Murray is in here. Kathleen Murray, Mercedes dropped $6 billion to Alabama to open a factory. Yes, that's fantastic. And again, we could have done that 25 years ago, when we let China in the World Trade Organization, but we didn't, right? So now, better late than never. And again, wait till Mercedes pulls the money on that factory, right? Wait till the Saudis pull all the money back that they're supposedly going to spend on AI, right? You wait till these companies, what these companies do is they basically say, we're going to pledge all this money. Here you go, Trump. Here's your bar of gold, right? And then when Trump leaves office, well, suddenly that money dries up, okay? Now, in your defense about Mercedes bringing a factory, that is obviously a good thing. The number one market for the Mercedes vehicles right here in America. We pay 30 to 50% more money for a Mercedes-Benz than they do in Germany. Okay, everyone wants to be here. You guys want to know how markets really work? Again, I talk about this stuff all the time. You guys want to know why everyone wants to sell into America, right? It's because we spend more on every single product, and we generally buy more of all products, which is why everyone wants to be here. So when people try to tell you that tariffs are bad for America, no, they're not. They're amazing for America because everyone in the third world wants to sell into America because, again, we just got more money. We got more buying power, and we're a consumer-based nation. We never saw a product that we didn't want to buy. And every third world country knows it. So again, when the experts tell you, oh my God, Americans are paying the tariffs, Americans are paying all that prices, businesses are passing all the costs along to the customers. It's total horseshit, guys. Again, we can't do that. Most of us can't afford to just pass our costs on, right? Because the market will only bear so much. And again, as business owners, if we want to keep the markets that we have, you can't always just raise your prices because of fucking tariff. It does. No business operates this way. And again, when I tell you guys how you negotiate with the third world, the people actually make all the shit that you guys buy. when it's made in the third world, right? Those people, they got families too. They got people that they got to pay. They got to make sure that they are keeping the lights on as well, which means they can't not get the sales from the businesses here in America that buy all their shit. So there is a little bit of negotiating that goes on. They're not eating all of it, but the third worlders, they eat some of it. The shippers eat some of it. The people that import the stuff here, I eat some of it, right? And then I pass some of it along to the customer. And it all kind of depends on what the product is, what the market is doing. There's a lot of factors that go into it. So that's actually how it works. So, all right, Kathleen Murray, what are you saying? I don't like Mercedes except old diesel ones. I still have one of my old vehicles with carburetors made steel. Computers and sensors suck. Yeah. My dad had an old 68 Mercedes that he took the engine out. He dropped in a Chevy, I think it was like a 427 or something like that. The thing always would overheat because the engine was too big to fit the right size radiator in there. So good times. We'd be hauling ass down the highway in this old, I want to say it was a 68. Had that big fucking Mercedes grill, beautiful car, the big swooping headlights, beautiful car. And every time we go to a stoplight or we'd be in like slow traffic, we had to turn the heater on so that you could get the heat out of the engine bay. It was kind of fun, But I love Mercedes Benz. I think Mercedes Benz are wonderful cars. The new cars are beautiful. There's something about the design of European vehicles is really special. And again, I'm a car guy. But I like the UK's cars. I like McLarens. I like Lotuses. But man, you can't deny like Mercedes Benz, beautiful automobile. BMW, beautiful. I got an Audi that I drive an Audi too. Like Audi, beautiful designs. There's something about those guys. They just design sexy vehicles. In America, we don't make sexy cars here. Like I'm sorry, guys. I know I'm a pro-America guy, but we fucking suck at making vehicles. Like our automotive industry should just stop. Like just don't. You don't know how to design anything. Nothing is beautiful that comes out of Detroit. I'm sorry. It just isn't, right? Like American vehicles and Toyotas are the most like amoeba utilitarian blah vehicles I've ever seen. So anyway, sorry guys. I don't mean to bash the American auto industry, but like Jesus Christ. Oh man. All right. So Chosen Law says hello. Chosen Law, good to see you, man. You caught me at the end of my stream, dude. Or my stream. I always forget what we call these things. We're talking about just Trump again, his fucking crazy comments. I was gonna take the oil from Iran, or say, hey, Europe, go take the oil. It's yours. You can have it. And it's like, what in the hell is going on here, man? Like this president is just insane. Like just such a wild dude. And too many people give him a pass. Like, I just don't understand how people just look it's amazing. Like, I almost feel like we got a country of people who are like beat up as children. They were never tough enough to put off the guy stealing their lunch money, making them do their fucking homework. So now they got like a bully president. They think this is like a good thing. Like, again, I did not like Obama. I think Obama was the most mediocre person that's ever become president in the history of our country. But the more I look back on that guy, what a statesman. Like, if you ever wanted someone to represent your country, like, Jesus Christ, man. Like, again, the guy's policies sucked. But, like, again, everyone liked the guy. He spoke well. He, talked about America well. He talked about foreign countries well. It seems like everyone kind of got along for the most part. I don't know, man. So, anyway, Chosen, that's what we're talking about, man. I appreciate you coming in here. Let's see. Is this Hassan? Is this Hassan? Hassan Ali. European cars so expensive, and the repairs. You guys want to know? Here, I'll give you guys some. Here we go. We're gonna talk cars for a second. If you guys like cars, and move on. Here's the thing, guys. I've always had European cars, and I've always had United Kingdom cars, right? Lotuses, fucking Audis, Mercedes Benz, all that shit. I love all those cars. A European vehicle is not that expensive. Like, you just have to work on it. This is one of the things that I talk about, right? It's one of the great things about working with your hands and learning to take things apart and putting them together, making shit, is that you can repair anything. You can fix anything, So you could never convince me to buy an American vehicle just because they're cheaper than a European car. European cars aren't cheap or aren't that expensive. The great thing about European cars, guys, is like take a BMW. It's got like 130, 150,000 miles on it, right? You know exactly what's going to go wrong with the thing, right? Tons of seals are going to leak, right? You're going to have to change out all the fluids, right? A lot of the rubber is going to be bad, so you have to change out the ball joints. You have to change out the control arms. You're probably going to change out some of the seals on the front end. Probably all the pulleys go bad. They're going to be squealing. You change out all that shit, and then guess what? You got a perfectly good fucking car for the next 50 to 80,000 miles. The problem is that when people buy BMWs, a lot of times it's people, they buy them until they get to about 100,000 miles, 110,000 miles, and then they trade them in on a new one. That's really all it happens. And then again, then you start with all the oil leaks. So if you're willing to pull off some, some valve cover gaskets, maybe change out a water pump, do some thermostats, the oil gasket housings that go bad on those things. Again, the parts are dirt cheap. They're not any more expensive than American cars. They're just not. You can go to FCP Euro sells a ton of European Pelican parts. And again, it doesn't matter if it's BMW, Audi, or Mercedes. If you're willing to work on the vehicle, you're able to get a little bit dirty. Like they're not any more expensive than, like, I drive a Volkswagen Touareg, guys, 2005. Literally is the most unreliable SUV in history. I bought the thing for $4,000. I did all the fluids, all the differentials, the transmissions. I did the timing belt on it. I swapped out all the pulleys, and I did the valve cover gaskets, put new plugs in. I haven't had a problem once. Not one problem. Not one problem. The check engine light does come on from time to time, but it's the gas cap. so like, I've never had any problems. My Audi, I've got an Audi TT sitting out there, a TTS, right? It's a 2011. Again, I did the pulleys on it. I swapped out the serpentine belts, and I did the transmission on it. No problems. I did have to do the suspension. I swapped out the Magna Ride suspension and put on some coilovers on it, but it's been freaking awesome. It's been awesome. Okay. Mr. Leto says Trump isn't. Oh, sorry guys, I lost my spot here. Okay, so apparently we're going to talk cars for a minute. All right, we used to in the '70s when they were probably smoking pot. All right, well, whatever, man. Fortune to maintain a new Mercedes. Yeah, I bet it is. But again, people that buy new Mercedes Benzes, they're not maintaining them, right? They're riding out the warranty, and then they just trade and they buy another one. They just keep that cycle going, and whatever, good for them. See, Todd Gack, let's say Fortune maintained Mercedes. All right. Kathleen Murray, GJ5YF. Let's see. Needs car moving for cooling off to in traffic, high temp exhaust cars in front of your older cars need moving air. Yes, I get it. We know all this stuff. All right, cool. See, Trump isn't a politician. Politicians make sure every works you hear is politically correct. Trump isn't a politician. Politicians make sure every word you hear is politically correct. Yeah, and again, Trump was supposed to be an antithesis of a politician. But guys, like I said, we've been in war since 2001, guys. Like I constantly in some kind of war. I mean, ever since I can remember, Trump was supposed to help, like, at least pull back from these conflicts. Maybe it wasn't going to end them, but he was going to pull back, and focus on the issues that we have here at home. And again, guys, he's done none of it, and it's wildly frustrating. Again, as someone I'm tired of the war. And again, if you could tell me as a Trump voter, 3-time Trump voter, if you could tell me why going to Iran was going to help us, like, I'm on board. I'm there. But when you guys tell me, oh, it's so they don't have to have a nuke, like, again, guys, I'm not fucking retarded, man. Like I said, I've done my history on nuclear weapons. Again, no country that gets a nuke ever uses it. In fact, it's actually stabilizes the region. So and even if they were going to get one, they always say, oh my God, the uranium, it's up to 60%. 60%, they can make a nuke. They can make 11 nukes. Like, do a little bit of research on enriching uranium, guys, okay? Truth is, you need 90% enrichment to make an actual nuclear weapon, okay? 60%, you could do a dirty bomb if you wanted. But again, not happening, guys. Not happening. And again, we're over here in America. Like I said, I'm not worried about that. As far as I'm concerned, the Middle East has gotten way too much of our resources, way too much of our time, way too much of our gold, way too much of our soldiers, way too much of everything. Those guys need, just like Europe, you guys all need to stand on your own 2 feet. Okay. Again, America, we're going to go work on shit at home. We got a lot of fucking politicians we got to get, right? We got a lot of work we need to do here on taking care of the average American. The guy that's making $50,000 to $70,000 a year. If we're not making their life better, we need to change what we're doing. Not because they're better or worse, but because that's the bulk of this country. So again, if the average person's buying their first home at 40 fucking years old, okay, I don't want to hear about Iran. I don't want to hear about Israel. I don't want to hear about Saudi Arabia. I don't want to hear about Europe. I don't want to hear about nothing. That means your American dream is dead, or it is fastly dying, right? When you go from the boomers, when the boomers were born, the average woman was having 3 kids, right? Now it's 1.5. Thanks, academia. And we got a lot of problems to work on here. And the country just doesn't work for the average American anymore. Again, I tell you guys all the time, we got a K-shaped economy going on right now. Again, I am a middle-class guy. My employees are middle-class people. I sell to the upper end of the K economy. So I see both sides of what's going on. And I'm here to tell you guys, the economy's not working for not only for middle class people, but most importantly, guys, young people. Like, come on, man. Like, there's got to be some old people in here. Like, let me know if you can let me know what you guys think about this. Okay, like growing up, did you? And I'm talking about like you're in college or maybe you're in high school. You're coming into the world. Like, were you excited to become an adult? Like, weren't you excited to buy a home or get a nice car, make some money, so you can take that chick out on a vacation, or weren't you? I mean, weren't there things like milestones in life you were kind of looking forward to? I mean, did any of you guys like want to go get a job? Were you excited to start a career? I mean, I was excited for all this stuff like growing up. Like, it was just like this was the thing. Like, you want to come out of high school and then, oh my god, I finally get to start my life. From what I understand, like a lot of people aren't really excited about that stuff anymore. I tell you guys, like I bought my first home. I was 21. I might have been 22. It's like it was a long time ago. But I bought a home really young because again, I did that making $15 an hour, guys. I wasn't making great money, but I had enough money to buy a $99,000 house in Wichita, Kansas. I turned around and I sold it. I was like 4 or 5 years later for $125,000. I take it back. It might have been 7 years later. But point is that it's just like I don't think we're producing a country that gets young people excited about becoming adults, right? About getting out in the workforce, about staking their claim and all these kind of things. And like, does the American dream still exist? Yeah, of course it does. It'll always exist, And can a poor person become a wealthy person in America? Is the American dream still there? And yes, 100%. I just don't know that it is around for enough people. This is stuff that a lot of stuff that I talk about in this cast. It's just like, how the fuck do we help young people? Because guess what? If they're not excited about the same shit that I was excited about growing up, I think we're in deep shit. And again, I liked getting married young. I liked being able to buy a home young. I like being able to make good money building aircraft furniture, right? I liked being able to, again, not having to have, I didn't have to have a college degree. I dropped out of high school and just moved around a little bit, found the best jobs, and it worked out. I want more people to have that. Not everyone should have to follow the path. Like, there's got to be lots of ways to make money in this country. And, it seems like the blue collar thing is coming back a little bit, which is good. A lot of people are lying about blue collar work, by the way, but they are talking about it, which is something. But the big thing that really would have helped this country would have been to implement tariffs, like big time tariffs, and really choke off this third world so that, again, businesses have to hire Americans, right? The third world labor that comes in here, again, shut that shit down. And again, give more American people access to the businesses and the careers that are here in America. Stop letting businesses outsource all that work or reduce the wages by, again, expanding the labor pool, right? Again, we had someone out here earlier talking about letting women into the workforce. The only thing that did was just lower the wages for everyone else, So instead of being able to buy a home because the man was making enough money to support the family, well, the minute you let the woman in the workforce, well, guess what? Now you need two people in order to afford that house. You need two people because now you got to have two cars, right? You have two of everything. And again, I'm not trying to be misogynist. This is what happened. And extrapolate that now to what we have today. Well, now we're outsourcing the work to the third world, or we're bringing the third world in here. And again, more and more labor pool, which dilutes the wages for everyone. I could be wrong, guys, but this is just how I see it. So, okay, let's see here. Who's in here? Sorry, guys, I ran my mouth there for a little bit too long. Mr. Is it Lono? I appreciate your comment, man. Okay, Sonali says BMW stands for bring me another warranties. I was burning my wallet. That's what I was. Guys, I probably had 7 or 8 BMWs. I love BMWs. I'm a big fan. I love BMWs. Again, I'm one of these guys, like I said, I have a furniture company, guys. So one of the things we have to do here at the Resplendent Crow is we have to design a really nice looking furniture. And again, we make furniture predominantly for women's, right? So when we design furniture, my wife is the person that basically does most of the design work, right? I'm more of the form, fit, and function guy. She's all design, right? So she's constantly designing things that appeal to women at a very high level. Lots of brass, lots of glossy finishes, right? Big, sparkly, shiny stuff. Not diamonds, but crystal. Like crystal, maybe it's going to be different kinds of stone. I mean, just this is what we do here at the Resplendent Crow. We're designing furniture. Again, go on my website. You guys want to see the kind of stuff we make. Again, most of you can't afford it, but that's why I make furniture. I couldn't afford it either, but now I got a company that sells it. And I think the same thing. It's the same thing in cars. Like the most important thing about a car is not how reliable it is. It's, not how much the gas mileage, the horsepower, none of that. That's all secondary to me. It's all, what does it look like? When I look at that car, do I go, oh my God, I have fucking got to have that. That is the sexiest automobile I've ever seen. Like, I don't care what the horsepower is. I don't care anything about it at that point. All I care about is how does it look? You can't sell me on, oh, it's got 10 airbags. and it's got redundant ABS system and satellite comm link and all this. Like, you can't sell me on that. You know, like, here's a great example, guys. So they give ever seen a car? It's called the Jaguar F Type, right? Came after the E Type. E Type's considered to be one of those beautiful automobiles, but the F Type, it was released, I want to say, in maybe 2014. It's just a sexy automobile. And then that company, they went all woke. You remember them? They tried to come out with this bulbous looking fucking like Cadillac kind of, Bentley-esque type vehicle with all these what's the word they use? God, where you can't tell, androgynous people. You can't tell whether they're women or men, and they went off the fucking deep end, and they stopped designing beautiful cars. Like, and truth is like, if Jaguar would just design a beautiful car like they've done, with the XK, and I mean, just go back and look at either vehicles. They're gorgeous. You can have woke advertising, right? You can have, these gender neutral people and all that. I'll still buy your vehicle as long as it's the sexiest thing I've ever seen, So anyway, I could talk cars all day, guys. I never talk cars because it's just something that, again, people don't seem to really like to talk about cars that much anymore. I don't know. I got a Tesla too. You guys want to talk about Tesla? We got a Tesla. So, okay. Sliding girls, just like good to see you. A teen girl I've worked with on Harman cars. They're over to Harman cars. What I'm drawing a blank there, Sliding. You have to fill me in on that. Again, I'm a car guy. I don't know what Harman Cars is. You have to let me know. Okay. This is Corey Allred. Is it Corey Allred? 84. All right, let's go Trump. All right, cool. We got another Trump supporter. That's fantastic. Again, if you're gonna say you like Trump, you hate Trump, let us know why. Let us know why you like Trump. Let us know. Give me a policy that you like about his, and if you don't like him, give me a policy you don't like. Give us something we can work with so we can go back and forth. The live streams don't work, guys, unless you're the other host of this, right? Like, I'm the main guy, you're the other main person, So we got to make sure we have this back and forth. Otherwise, it doesn't work. This isn't like a YouTube video where you guys are just watching me talk about a topic, right? Oh, watch me talk about the news, or watch me talk about cars. Here, well, watch me talk about woodworking. This doesn't work that way. All right, do a 360. I don't know what you're talking about, dude. What do you want me to like spin my camera around so you guys can see my hardware room? Is that kind of what you're wanting? Let me know. Yeah, I'm up in the hardware room, guys. This is where I have all the hardware that we have made in India, and we got an entire room full of this shit. Again, when I talk about tariffs, guys, this room is my tariffs. When I tell you guys how tariffs work, this is because I actually manufacture and import from the third world. Like, I'm not just some guy buying some shit from someone that's selling some stuff in India. Like, no, I design it all. I literally work with the people that make all this stuff, so I know a little bit about how this stuff really works. All right, let's see, Penguin Walrus. My favorite part of the Trump administration is the no new wars. I know, so frustrating. No, it was actually, that was like a big deal for me. Not because I'm a bitch, but because I'm just tired of hearing about Ukraine. I'm tired of hearing about Europe. I'm tired of hearing about the Middle East. I'm tired of hearing about Israel. Like, I just want to focus on America. Right? I just want to focus on the American worker. I want people to have what I had growing up, right? Be able to buy homes. They don't have to have some, fucking psychology degree with a master's in, whatever pre-revolutionary utopia or whatever, degree you guys want to talk about. Normal people doing normal stuff. All right, this is a Mike Albertson. Oh my goodness, dude. All right, what's his plan? All right, Mike, we already went over that. If you want me to tell you again, put it in the chat and I will go over it one more time. All right, Janice Farmer, 2387. Europe is doing just fine until Netanyahu, the Trump decided to start shit and then go, oh, you guys need to fix it now. Yeah, this again, Janice, I'm in the same boat. Like I said, as an American, like I said, okay, we're doing pretty good in the chat. As an American, like I said, I talk shit on Europe quite a bit, because again, I just feel like you guys need to work on your defense a little bit more and rely less on us. But again, I love your guys' economy. I love what you guys stand for. Your country's gorgeous. Your products are amazing. The best leathers in the world, right? The best fashion in the world. You guys are amazing. But yeah, I think that this whole thing that Trump has started with Netanyahu is just crazy, And then shutting down the Strait of Hormuz, and then talking like we're gonna run tolls through there, basically telling Europe like you need to come fix this thing that we fucked up here in America. Like that, as an American, I'm just offended at the notion that our president is trying to say, Europe, you need to come help us because we said so. Like if I was Europe, I would just, I mean, and man, your guys' President Macron, good for him. It's like you guys fucked this thing up. You made this bed. You lay in it. And there's, oh, well, we helped you with Ukraine. It's like, what's that got to do with anything? It's got to do with nothing. Oh, we've given you guys troops and we've helped you guys forever. You owe us. Like, oh, well, that's convenient. Like, why didn't we leave NATO 15 years ago when NATO started encroaching on Russia and started all this shit that led to the Ukraine war? Again, why didn't we leave then? Because it wasn't convenient. Suddenly convenient to talk shit on NATO and Europe. Now that we completely fucked up this whole Middle East thing, it's like it's so offensive, guys. It's so offensive as an American. You would never do that if your kids did something like this. Basically created a massive problem and then basically said it was someone else's fault because they didn't come help you fix this massive problem. You would chastise your kid to no end. You tell your kid, you know what, you little shithead, you need to take responsibility. You did this. Billy didn't do this. You did this. You take care of it. But no, you got tons of people, this is our president. We're going to support our president, and then, oh my God, heaven forbid you say, oh God, our military shouldn't be over. This is bullshit. We shouldn't be over there bombing this place. They're like, oh, you must hate the military. Like, it's just the rhetoric is so bad. The lack of common sense, the lack of do unto others as one would do to you, the golden rule, these kind of, like, none of that applies in this administration, in this economy. None of it applies. I heard the other day, fucking Jerome Powell talking about, oh, we gotta make sure that the GDP keeps up and outpaces debt, and that's okay. We don't have to work on the debt. It's like, dude, you literally printed $11 trillion during your term, right? You're literally the antithesis. You're making all of this possible. It's like we don't live in reality anymore, guys. It is so wild. The things that we're letting these smart people say and get away with. I can't. You would never run your household like this. You would never let your friends run their household like this. You would intervene if you knew someone that was acting this way. It's like, oh. Anyway, appreciate your comment. Janice, but yeah, I agree with you 100%. So, Zigzag Moto Chopper, thanks Democrats for making everything expensive. Again, Zigzag, like, it's everyone makes things expensive. Like, I don't know what, this isn't a Democrat thing. This isn't a Republican thing, guys. This is a Fed thing. This is everyone in government. They can't agree on much, but they all agree on those spending packages, don't they? And again, it takes two to tango. So this is not a Republican issue, and this is not a Democrat issue. This is your government. You need to cut the money off to the government, plain and simple. Like, start by balancing the budget, right? You guys are going to get a mini recession. The cost of goods will crater. You'll see home prices drop by probably 30% in the first year. You'll see car prices drop by probably 50%. You'll see insurance costs go down. You'll see homeowners costs go down. You'll see property taxes go down. Everything will get cheaper. You'll enter a massive deflationary spiral, that'll last for probably a year. This is what happens when you balance the budget. All that free printed money that goes out to either the very poor or the very rich, all that money will get washed up. I don't know if anyone wants to see it. No one wants to do it, man. Nobody wants to do it. It's so frustrating. All right, United States of Israel. Yeah, I know, man. I don't disagree. It's not a good look. It's not a good look. Edwin, okay, I read your comment. This is a Janice Farmer again. Academia had nothing to do. Academia, I guess it had nothing to do with it. People simply can't afford children. Yes, academia has everything to do with it, dude. Academia is literally the reason you guys can't afford anything today. Okay, why do you think all the outsourcing was done? Why do you think all the work was sent over to China and over to Vietnam? Okay, it was sent so that businesses would have the money to pay for all the new jobs, right? The people that work on branding, right? The corporate strategists, right? The people that are going to do marketing, right? The people that are going to do the R&D for new products, right? The people that are going to come up with things like engineered obsolescence. The people that are going to create all the dumb fuck bullshit automobiles that we have, right? The people that are going to come up with all the permitting, right? That you guys have to have every time we want to make anything in this country. The people that are going to come up with all the new crazy regulations, the new tax policy. This is what you paid for when you took the real work out of the hands of the American people. This is where it all comes from. Academia did this. The reason the Fed keeps printing money ad nauseum, right, is because if they don't, guess what happens? All the asset holders, the wealthy people, and the well-connected academic people, all their investments crater, which is why you'll never see deflation. It'll never happen, guys. The Fed will print money to protect the wealthy people and the academic class at the cost of the blue-collar worker and the guy that would work at a factory, the guy that builds houses. They'll trade your guys' lives away. They'll inflate everything you have away to protect the asset holders. And that's how it works. Again, look at Donald Trump says, "Oh my God, we're going to kick out all the foreigners." Right? What's the first thing he did? Oh no, we got to let 600 Chinese in here because if we don't, the academics, the colleges will go under. Okay, it's like, well, let the colleges go under. Why is America paying to educate the rest of the world? Oh, because they pay cash. Like, I don't give a fuck. I don't care. This is my country. It's for me and my people. Okay. And again, if you can't have 10,000 colleges in America because suddenly we realize that, oh my God, the 10 millionth business degree isn't really worth, that much money. Or, oh my God, the 10 millionth psychology degree isn't really worth that much money. Maybe some of those academic institutions need to go under. Maybe the price of all the assets that have been hyperinflated since 2008, maybe we need to let those assets crater a little bit. Then everyone says, "Oh my God, well, the wealthy people are just going to buy them up. They're just going to buy them up." No, 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 they won't. No, they won't. You guys will actually have a chance to buy something. And guess what? Because during a recession, right, prices crater, deflation craters, right? What ends up happening is that a lot of people lose their jobs, but for the most part, people get to keep their jobs, right? You might see 15% unemployment, which is a ton, don't get me wrong. But the people that are left, guess what? Their wages stabilize. And guess what? As the economy comes back, well, suddenly they start to get the raises, right? Then because the cost of the dollar, everything that you buy has cratered, guess what? Your money's worth more. So prior to the Great Recession, you were making $20 an hour, right? After the Great Depression, you are still making $20 an hour, but guess what? You can buy twice as much with that same $20. This is how it works, but the Fed will never let it happen, guys. The wealthy banks, right? The people that actually get the money that the Fed prints, they get all that money first. They just buy assets. That's all they're buying, guys. They don't want the same things that you guys want. But you have to buy your shit from them. Like this is it's not complicated. This is why I'm always telling you guys, you need tariffs. Anyway, I'm a broken record on this. All right, just another dude, 5698. See, that being said, the left and right wings are both part of the same dirt bird. 100%, dude. I think you're a great comment there. This is just another dude. I appreciate your comment. I agree with you. All right, Mike Alpterson. I'll never be able to say your last name, dude. Okay, America's economy is working great for the 1%. Yeah, and again, it is working great for the 1%, and that's fine. The American economy should be working great for the 1% because the truth is most of those people create all the jobs. So I'm not naive enough to understand. I know what side of the bread the butter is on, right? This is why I sell furniture to wealthy people. I sell a luxury good because that's how I can afford to live, right? That's how I can keep up with inflation as a business owner. Is I sell to these people that are doing really well, that have all the money. It's a big risk when I come in here and talk about this kind of stuff because again, people that would follow me that are interested in my product, they don't want to hear any of this shit. They're not interested in any of this stuff, So when I give you guys the insights that I give you about how my business works, about how the people that I sell to, about how they work, about the products that I sell, how tariffs really work, most people aren't going to tell you guys this stuff because again, there's too much risk for a lot of people to potentially alienate part of their customer base. But the truth is, guys, most of my customers aren't going to watch this kind of stuff. I'm not worried about it one bit. Most of my customers are women. 60% of all the people on YouTube, it's all men. And again, I know my audience here on YouTube, and I know my audience on a place like Instagram, where we got a big following as well. We got like 100,000 followers on Instagram, which isn't big, but it's good for a business. We got a lot of people on there. And again, if you guys follow me on Instagram, you guys will see that what I do during my day to day is not what you're seeing here. Like I spent all last week and helped my wife redo the foyer in our house. So if you guys want to see like stupid expensive wallpapers and Eric doing framing and working with laser levels and painting and our big beautiful home on the river, you can see all that stuff over there. I don't really post any of that shit on any of that on YouTube. This is completely different. This is Eric where he can purge and show you guys how to make stuff, kind of a thing. So, all right, let's see here. We got Dory LJ. Are you a Republican? Yes, I'm a Republican. See, where's the true American patriots? Where's the true American patriots? What do you mean by that? Again, I think one of the best things you can do is dissent, right? Again, I'm a lifelong Republican, but again, I'm voting blue no matter who next election. I think that you cannot campaign on one thing and do the exact opposite. I'm not okay with that. I won't vote Republican this next election. It won't happen. I need an amazing person to run in 2028 in order to get me to vote Republican. So I will continue to vote left until a true right-leaning, hard-ass motherfucker comes and runs for president. If I got to choose between spending my tax dollars over the Middle East and giving it to places like Israel and Europe versus voting for a left winger who's going to pay off student loans and who's going to maybe try and get universal health care and is going to pay off medical debt and give my money to people again who I don't really even want to give money to. I would much rather we do that. Like again, keep my money here at home. I don't care how you do it. If you want to tax me a bunch so you give it to a bunch of poor people who are basically become leeches, I don't care. I'm not giving it to Europe anymore. I'm not giving it to the Middle East. I'm not giving it to Israel. It ain't. I'm not giving money to Ukraine. I'm not doing that shit anymore. I'm not voting for any of that stuff. And I don't know that it'll help, but it's the only thing I can do. So, all right. Let's see, Republican or Democrat? All right, answer your question there. Who's this? We got Starty Barfest 71. The American dream was always been a joke. No, it has not always been a joke. Absolutely not. Has not been a joke. The American dream worked for me. What do you mean? The American dream worked for. I tell a story all the time. Like I got a cabinet maker. He's a refugee from Syria. Okay, again, a war America really helped to. I mean, we helped to fuck up this guy's country. By the way, again, we don't talk about that. But again, America's not always a force for good in the world. Okay, but he comes here. He comes over from Syria, right? He had to leave because of the war. He goes to Germany, spends 2 years in Germany as a refugee, right? Then makes it into America, right? Shows up on my doorstep. He doesn't speak any English. His wife followed us on Instagram, believe it or not. People from Syria, right? Shows up on, hey, look, my husband does this, in her broken English, and show me that he can carve. And he's done all these crazy carved doors there in Syria and Jordan, right? Which, if you live in Syria, you make your money in Jordan, by the way. So he comes here. I say, hey, look, dude, you don't speak any English. I don't know what you can do. I told him, hey, I'll pay your husband $10 an hour. If he can build cabinets, he can help me to make some furniture. He can be useful. I'll give him a job. We'll pay him some more money. And now he makes what, $35 an hour, and that was 4 years ago. So again, he's got a kid, he's got a wife, he's got a house, he's got a brand new Volkswagen. Like again, I think the American dream worked for that guy, right? I got a shipper. He's from Croatia, right? Again, he fought in the Croatian War, had to flee Croatia, right? Again, refugee in Germany. Something about Germany and refugees. Came to America, right? And what he did in Germany, he was in the military, right? He's a military man, but he also did truck driving. He was in Germany to make money. Well, he comes over here and starts driving trucks around, right? Transporting stuff, doing hot shots and things like that. So basically taking like a Mercedes-Benz Sprinter van, and he takes that Sprinter van and he drives it all over America for companies like Amazon, companies like FedEx, right? He was what was called a hot shot. Basically, you need someone to go from St. Louis, where I'm at, to New York. He will be there tomorrow. That's how good this guy was. He literally like drives at night. He knows everywhere to go. He's one of the best delivery persons I've ever seen. He is the best at what he does, right? The guy makes well over $100,000 a year. He's been working for me for 9 years. Okay, so, and I can tell you even more stories, tons of them. Okay, again, my wife is from India. Okay, like most of her family moved here from India, right? And again, they're doing fantastic. The company's working for them. Everyone's working for these people. But again, when I hear people tell me like, "Oh God, the American dream is dead," like you're full of shit, dude. Like the American dream is alive and well. It's just much more difficult for people to make it here in America. It's getting much more difficult for the young people to make in this country. But the American dream is alive and well here. So, and speaking of the devil, there's my wife. You gonna come say hi, honey? Tell me, what do you think about the American dream, honey? Is the American dream alive and well in this country, you think? Yeah, but it's alive? Well, tell us about the American dream. What do you think about it? Give us more. I told the story of Al, and I told the story of Nazar, and I started to kind of tell the story about how you guys got here. Your story is not quite as as good as Al's and Nazar's, but because they're fucking refugees from war torn countries. Al's fought in the war. I mean, he had to leave. He didn't have a choice, right? And Nazar, bombed the shit out of his country, and he had to leave. He had no choice. And they both ended up in Germany, right, where they're both refugees, and then they ended up here. Al's crushing it, Nazar's crushing it. Yeah, I've told him that. That's one of the big problems about being middle class now. Middle class doesn't work. Yeah. Yeah, growing their income and providing value. Hmm. Yeah. Yeah. That's rough. Yeah. Yeah. That's probably true. Hmm. He's super family oriented dude too. I mean, if anyone was gonna have a bunch of kids, it'd be him. Yeah. Yeah, everything's wildly expensive, but then also as his income increases, he gets less benefits. So he was used to getting benefits, and a lot of refugees and a lot of people that come to America, they do get benefits in the very beginning, but as they grow their incomes and they grow, this American dream thing, they start making more money. They're finding out that those benefits get eaten away, and those benefits to buy them on the open market are so expensive that basically the minute they don't have access to those benefits, we as employers we have to give them. I mean, what would it be like a $10 an hour raise, like right off the bat, right? It's $25,000 a year just for healthcare for a family of four right now. It's wildly expensive, and I mean, what is that? Yeah, that's like $12 an hour. Yeah. So anyway, it's point is that things are just wildly expensive. I'm sorry, guys. I don't know if you can hear. I guess I forgot I got my headphones in here. Hold on. Slow down. Okay, hold on. I'm gonna go back. You guys have to do super chats and super gifts at this point. I can't keep up with all the comments at this point. Let me go to the end here. I'm gonna scroll back. And let's see here. So Sliding Girl's saying German car wiring over designed by Chef Boyardee. I don't know about that. Well, this is what you guys wanted, right? I mean, you wanted all these over designed automobiles. I mean, it wasn't enough to just have a nice V8 with a with a standard four and a regular old radio. It's like no, you needed 100 airbags, 50 speakers, a satellite connection, redundant ABS. You need Kevlar brakes and magnesium wheels and whatever super crazy fucking polymer tires. You just this is what you guys wanted. And then when a vehicle gets damaged, right? Well, every panel is now composite, right? It's designed by a PhD, with fucking 100 years of designing fenders, and so yeah, to replace it's going to cost $20,000. So they just junk the car rather than insurance to repair. They don't even design these things to be repaired anymore. Then you got to just go buy a whole other vehicle. Like amazing. I love it. It's great. Or the car, right? We got this Tesla, right? So basically, the way it's going to work with these cars is going to be like your phone. After about 5 or 6 years, you're going to find out the battery doesn't work very well. The updates kind of suck. The thing's kind of lethargic. It doesn't work as well as it used to work, and then you're just going to throw the car away and go buy another one. And this is called engineered obsolescence, guys. And this is again. It sounds like I'm always bashing academia, but engineer obsolescence, like this is what you guys got. This is what you paid for. When you outsourced all the work, people forgot how to work on things. People forgot what quality actually looks like. People actually wanted to work on their own shit. When you just basically made everything replaceable and disposable, this is what you got. Now you can't afford nothing. And again, I didn't want to make this a conversation about, this kind of stuff, but here we are. Okay, let's see. Are you the weirdest live streamer plagued with TDS? I know it's so funny. I have TDS now, honey. I literally sound like, and I get it. I sound like that 100%. Because again, three-time Trump voter, and I can't believe what's happened with this guy. I'm just completely floored. I literally sound like a Democrat now, which is insane. But it is what it is. So, all right, Trump all day. All right, well, Camper, let us know. What do you mean, Trump? What what do you like about the guy? What's a policy that you feel has worked well that's helping America? And let us know. Like I said, we goes both ways here. So. All right, the dawn abides. The Liquid City Island Travelers is back, and your chef ordeal is pretty damn simple, if you ask me. Open and eat, unless you want to heat things up. It's so good. Tucker sucks. Okay, this is a Chris Corbett. Okay, now again, you can give us more. Help us out here. Let's see. Do you have Whatnot app? Is there a Whatnot app? Is that a thing? Oh, is that the comic book app? I think I've seen people. I think it's called Whatnot. They sell. You see antiques. Oh, is this an antique app? Hold on. This is let's see who's in here. This is a Camper Eater. Camper Eater, let me know if that's the app to sell antiques. I'm not the most up to date app guy. I don't even want to get on my phone anymore. I'm so tired of all the freaking news. I just listen to music anymore. I'm going back to the days when I used to work on the factory floor, and I'd have to listen to the old fucks constantly play Metallica and Ozzy and Pink Floyd for like the millionth time every day, all day. I'm actually going back to that. That's how tired I am of the news right now. All right. I wouldn't say tariffs are good, but they may be necessary in certain economic situations. This is Adam Eater. Yeah, and again, I agree. But what are those situations? Okay, I think we need a few more tariffs in this country on a few more products. Again, no tariffs on materials, but absolutely materials on anything that's manufactured. I mean, not I can't. You have to always do the absolutes thing. More things. We'll put it that way. Okay. Who's this? Theppers. How do you? Did you? I thought you were going home. Where'd you end up going? Oh, that's right. How'd it go over there? The Persimmons person 140. Are you a man or a woman? You're that pretty. Well, thank you so much. Elite 3 Wad. We're almost made us forget Epstein is in the Trump files. They're trying, man. Like I said, I wouldn't surprise me if part of why we're doing this is in part because of the Epstein files. And I keep telling you guys, like, don't sleep on the Epstein files. That Pam Bondi chick, she's out. She's gone. I think in a large part because of how she handled that whole situation. She didn't go after any of the people that went after Trump. She didn't do very much. I think Kash Patel's next. He perjured himself, as far as I'm concerned. He's in trouble. And then that Howard Lutnick guy, he's on the outs. I give that guy won't make it to the end of the year. He's going to be toast. So, all right. Will you vote for Trump again? This is Mike. Mike, God, dude, I can never pronounce your name, dude. Mike, we're gonna go 8093. No, not this time. These days are over. If Trump runs for a third term, I'm definitely not gonna vote for him. You got to give me something, man. That's how voting works. Like if you vote for someone and they are the antithesis of what you voted for, like what was the point of voting? Like it just doesn't seem like it makes doesn't seem like it works. Which can be wildly frustrating. So I don't who you guys want to run for president in 2028. Like if you're a Democrat or Republican, who you guys want to see run? I'm kind of curious. Who would you vote for? Because I don't. I mean, they keep talking about who's it? Marco Rubio and JD Vance. Like I don't like any of those guys. Again, JD Vance is literally the Manchurian Candidate. Go watch it. Starred Denzel Washington. It's a great movie. He is literally the Manchurian Candidate from that movie. It's hilarious. And Marco Rubio's a neocon. I'm done with neocons. Like I said, I was around when 9/11 happened. I'm tired of these people. I'm tired of the Middle East stuff. I just want to focus on stuff here at home. We got plenty of things to work on. 35 hours sounds nice. Milfin Cats, or excuse me, Muffin Cats, 7575. I'm not sure what you're saying there. All right, Liquid City Island Travels. It would make sense if the money helped resolve conflicts instead of keeping shit going. Yeah, I get it. I think that's a great comment, man. Yeah, it would be nice. But yeah, just like none of you guys ever notice that? That's kind of how it fits with everything. That's why I was telling you guys, like we got to cut the money supply. If you start by just balancing the budget, right? You're going to get a mini recession. It'll suck for like a year, but trust me, your money will go much further after that. But when governments pass policies, whether it's a city, whether it's a county, whether it's a state, whether it's a federal, it doesn't matter. You guys ever notice that whenever these guys start these programs, they never end? Right, they'll literally start. They'll start whatever. You guys are going to pay 1% on your state tax to help the homeless. Well, the fucking homeless problem never gets better. And then it's like, well, that 1% then turns into 1.1%, and then 1.3%. And before you know it, you're paying 3% to help the homeless. This program started 20 years ago, and the homeless problem is worse than ever. At no point does anybody say, you know what, we got to turn this off. And this is the problem. Like nothing gets turned off in this country, and it would be great if we would just end some of these programs and then see who comes bitching for money, right? Then you'll know where the waste, fraud, abuse is. But we just don't do any of it. We just keep the machine going. Keep paying that 22.5% in income taxes. All right, Slider Girl 69. You vote AOC for a USSA, United Socialist States of America. Yeah, and again, I don't think that woman has a chance. I shouldn't say that, but I don't know that enough people would vote for that woman. And again, like former bartender, like I don't know, man. Like I don't know. I don't understand the appeal of her. I don't get it. All right, W09. This is so BS. Okay, well, tell us, what is this? What is this that's BS? Put it in the comments. Again, if you guys are stream, hit the like button, and again, add discussion. Appreciate everyone spending their time doing this. We'll do it for, we'll probably do it for 7 more minutes, guys. We'll probably call it a day, unless we get a crazy conversation going. All right, is this Cornelius? Cornelius G4905, such contradicting statements. I know it could happen. Again, you're not a professional speaker. Like, oh my God, heaven forbid someone contradict themselves. But again, let me know where I contradict myself. I'm happy to go back and forth with you on it. All right, this is that Mike guy with your weird last name. Should she be deported? I don't know who is she. Let us know in the comments. Let's see. How much did she pay you for that time, my guy? I don't know who that person is. You guys talking about AOC? I don't know who you're talking about. Talking about my wife? I don't know who. Maybe they think that I'm paying you, honey. You pay me. She writes the paychecks. All right. Let's see. Is the American dream dead for the middle class? I don't know. It's dead for the middle class. It's just a lot harder. Like this. I be a broken record about this, guys. I bought my first home. I think I was 21 or 22 years old. Making $15 an hour as a furniture maker with no education. Paid a hundred. How do you come back? Okay. Paid $100,000 for it in Wichita, Kansas. I worked in aerospace as a furniture maker. And again, always had nice cars. I was able to go on vacation, have kids, do all that kind of. We hit all the, had the nice houses with the white picket fence, the dogs, we hit all the high spots of what the American dream is supposed to be. And I think it's much harder now than it used to be. I didn't have to work two jobs. Again, there were times when my wives, right? I've had three of them now. Didn't have to work. If they wanted to take time, like I didn't make enough money for them not to work at all, but I made enough money, if they wanted to take a week off or they want to take a month off or something like that, like we could swing that kind of stuff. But I think that's not possible today. I think the Fed has inflated away entire generations of the American dream, to protect asset holders, to protect wealthy people. And again, the trade off when you cut off the Fed's ability to print money is that assets will crash. Which again, wealthy people are the people that create the jobs, are the ones that are the reasons we all have jobs, if I'm being completely honest. But again, you cut off their source of revenue, you cut off their high asset prices, and everyone's going to lose jobs. The economy is going to take a huge nosedive, but it will get better. It will get so much better. All right, let's see, travels. I never voted the first time. All right, not sure what you're saying there, dude. Hey, Mike, let us know. This is Mike. I can't pronounce your last name, but 8093. Let us know what you do, man. Where are you at? What industry you're in? Let me know what you think about the American dream. Is it dead? Is it getting better? Is it moving in the right direction? Are there things that we could do that would help? Because again, when the average person in America is becoming a homeowner at 40 years old, that's death, guys. That's death for your society, because guess what? Women start having complications, having children at 35 years old. And what do you think? You think some woman wants to have a fucking kid in an apartment? I'm sorry, they don't. Guys don't want to have kids in an apartment either. Okay, people want to have families in homes. And again, if even as we older people, boomers, I include you guys in this, if we got to take less to get these people into homes, to get them having kids, like we got to right this ship, guys. And again, we got a super chat coming in here. But let me know what you guys think about. Let me guys think about what would help with the American dream, right? And if I hear one more person tell me tax the billionaires, take all the billionaires' money, like I'm not going to read your comment. Like I don't consider that to be constructive or helpful. It's very simplistic and it's tired, So come up with something better, okay? All right, super chat coming in. Who's our super chatter? The Mikado. Mikado sent super chats before, man. I appreciate it, dude. Thanks for making it to the stream, man. I know I don't normally do streams this time of day. I normally do them in the morning, but I didn't have time. I was dealing with stupid CNC bullshit, and I just sat in front of my computer for like an hour. I'm supposed to design a faux bamboo china cabinet. I did not want to do it this morning, so I just sat there playing my casino game on my phone and drinking my coffee like a loser, and felt good, So anyway, that's why I wasn't doing my stream this morning. Okay, Mikado16 says, middle class dead. Trump wants 1.5 trillion for wars we don't want and is unconstitutional. Also never made the tables with the mirrors at the bottom. Mikado, I'm not sure what you're saying about the last part of your thing, but fill me in and I will respond to it. So yeah, Trump wants a $1.5 trillion military budget, right? Which, again, tell me how that helps America and I'm on board. And if you want to tell me, oh, God, it's going to make American energy prices cheaper. It's like, okay, well, we've been in the Middle East for a long time now. I haven't seen energy prices come down. And it seems to me like the people that actually get the benefits of snatching places like Venezuela, controlling the Middle East, whatever, Canada, all the places that America says it wants to get the energy from. Whenever we get access to this energy, it doesn't seem like the price comes down. It seems like the oil companies, their stocks are going up. Last time I saw Exxon, I think they were trading at like $113 a share. Last time I looked at Marathon was like over $35 a share. It seems like these guys are crushing it, right? The dividends keep getting paid out, but we don't seem to get those benefits, So I don't believe Trump when he tells me that we don't have money for healthcare, we don't have money for childcare, we need to basically buy bombs. I don't believe him, And again, this whole Ukraine-Russia conflict, I think we could leave there today, and again, it wouldn't affect America at all. It might Europe. I mean, Russia may want to go up into Europe, right? Russia, if everyone who says talks about Russia says that Russia's just going to sweep through Europe, it's going to be fucking 1939 all over again. Like, I don't believe you guys. I don't believe the experts anymore. I just think they're all lying to us. We need to bring everything back here that we can, right? We don't need to be isolationists, but we need to bring a lot of things back. We need to work on this country. And again, if we're going to go to the Middle East, we need to see a benefit. A tangible benefit for the people that I'm always talking about, which are the younger generations, not the kids. I'm talking about the people coming out of college, the people getting out of high school. This, whatever, 18 to 27-year-old group of people. We got to make these people get excited about the American dream, excited about having kids. And again, I didn't have enough kids. I'm not going to lie to you guys. I had one kid. I didn't even have the two that I should have had, right? My wife had two, and we need more kids. Like, at this point in my life, as I get older, I'm realizing like this is a major problem. So anyway, Mikado, dude, as always, man, I appreciate your super chats. I appreciate when you come back in the stream and add comments in here. So let me see what else you got here. Another super chat coming in. Let's see who our super chat is from this time. It's probably from Mikado as well. But hold on, Mikado. I want to talk one more time. So Mikado says that the wars that we're not wanting, but he also says they're unconstitutional. So if I'm not mistaken, you guys can correct me on this, but I believe we have not went to Congress to declare war since, is it World War II? I don't know if that is correct or not. I think I remember reading that, but we haven't gone to war as a country in a very long time, right? And what I mean by that is the House of Representatives and the Senate are the people, right? They're the representatives that represent us. And we have not been asked whether or not we want to go to war in a very long time. Yet, we've been at war since I can remember. So someone fill me in on that one if I'm right or wrong. But I don't think that a lot of these wars are constitutional. It used to be that we paid for wars. Like Trump wants $200 billion for war. You know what he's getting ready to do? He says, I need $200 billion for more bombs, right? We got to replenish our resources, right? The truth is that he's going to cut Medicaid to do it. And again, I'm not one of these people that thinks that we should be paying for Medicaid or Medicare. I'm the antithesis of that. But I got to be consistent. And if I got to choose between buying bombs to go attack a country that I'm never going to go to fight for a country that I'm never going to see, that I have no allegiance to at all, I'm going to keep that money here. I'm going to give it to the poor. I'm going to give it to the parasite class that I'm always talking shit on. I would much rather give it to them. And I think there's a lot of Americans like me that are tired of wasting our money, giving our money to countries like Israel that have health care, right? That have child care, that have a culture that loves to have kids, that loves family, that pushes things that I consider are good for a society, healthy, not degeneracy, right? These kind of things. Would we send money over to Europe by way of NATO, right? Or maybe by way of, however we influence Europe these days, right? Again, if I got to choose, we send the money over there and keeping that money here and giving it to people that got bullshit degrees, I'll give it to them. They can have it, So anyway, sorry, Mikado. I need to get you at the super chat. I spent a little bit too much time talking on the one. Okay, coming down here again. Guys, you want your comments read? You're going to have to do super chats like Mikado. We just don't have enough time. I'll read his super chats. I'll read all the super chats, but then I'm just going down to the very end. I'm scrolling back a couple of comments, so we're going to continue on. Again, appreciate everyone being here today. Mikado says, all right, tables look like they go on forever because they have a mirror at the bottom. They are... lol DIY, you probably haven't made them, but they are cool. No, dude, I have no idea what you're talking about. Tables that look like they go on forever because they have a mirror at the bottom. Yeah, I'm not sure what this is. If you can give me a name, just throw it in the comments, dude. You have to do a super chat, but just throw it in the comments. I'll go through and try and read what it is. I stay up on furniture, but Mikado, what you understand about what I do is I don't chase trends. Like, you're not going to see me making those fucking river tables, the epoxy tables that are real popular. I don't make furniture that plays well on YouTube. I don't make furniture that, impresses other woodworkers. Like, I got employees to pay. I got to make payroll. I got a mortgage. I got child support. I got to make real money. So I sell furniture that more people will buy. Right. I look to sell 50 pieces of the same piece of furniture every year. This is what I aim for. I try and find designs that, again, play to white affluent women that make $500,000 a year and up. That's who I make furniture for. I make desks for wealthy guys. I make furniture for musicians, for Congress people, for actors, for singers, all these kind of things. This is who I'm making furniture for. I don't follow trends, man. Like I said, I gotta I gotta keep the lights on in this place, man. And so that's what I do. It's worked for me for a long time. And thank God I have my wife, because she's an amazing designer and really good at helping me, make this thing happen. So, all right, but Mikado, I appreciate your super chat as always, dude. All right, cyclical. Who's this? Oh, cynical bastard. I think I've seen you before. Cynical bastard 9531. One beer is too much for him. Yeah, I know, right? Sorry, guys. That's one of the great benefits of having a company. And again, we buy beers for our employees. Like I said, we have a real family here. Like I said, no one really takes advantage of it. It's a lot of fun. You can still run a business like normal people. You can still treat your employees like they're not fucking HR numbers. You can have a real family in a business. And this is one of the things. That's why I say you got to get rid of the tariffs. You got to get rid of this whole idea that academia knows what's great for business, because what you'll end up with a bunch of businesses that are all like offices. And that sucks, man. Like, that sucks. Like, I've worked 20 years in manufacturing. I think I've had a beer on the job maybe 2 or 3 times in my entire life. Ever since I had my own business, I drink a beer almost every day at work. I don't drink anything. I don't drink Pepsi with lunch anymore. I don't have to listen to fucking Ozzy Osbourne for the 1,000th time. I can listen to whatever I want. My guys listen to whatever they want. We take care of our people, man. And business is different, I think, than what people think that is. And again, if we bring back more businesses here to America, we allow more people to start small businesses to compete with these large corporations that have been outsourcing your guys' shit for 30 years at this point. I think we'd have a better country. I think more people would have access to the American dream. And again, how nice would it be to actually be closer to the business owner? How nice would it be to actually have a real family of people at your company that you could interact with, right? The boss will let you come in and make shit. The boss will help you, with your house over the weekend. Or maybe you got a couple employees, we all get together, we go out for beers, we shoot the shit. Maybe we'll go out and do things for the holidays where your boss understands you don't give a fuck about getting a turkey. You actually want money. So we make sure we give our people money. We don't bullshit our people and try and pacify them with little tiny, trinkets of generosity. Like, we actually take care of our people because we understand what they're going through. So anyway, okay, guys, I can go down the very end. We're going to scroll back just like before. All right, here we go. OMG, it's you. So OMG, it's you. Great name. Okay, Filipinos be laughing at Democrats, and Democrats still live in America now. Don't overcompensate by lying. Okay, not sure what you're saying there, dude. Appreciate it. I have to pay for my own insurance. Yeah, again, I get a lot of. I think it would be better. I think it would be better if we just made everyone pay for their own insurance. Get rid of health insurance. You guys want to see the cost of healthcare come down? Stop paying for it. One of the highest line items in the budget is paying for Medicare. Get rid of the insurance. You want to take care of the boomers? You want to take care of the elderly? Again, I think that's fine. We can take care of them. But again, get rid of insurance for everyone else. We need to take care of the kids. We need to take care of the older people, but then everyone else is paying cash. Maybe we could do some kind of a universal thing where we take care of, whatever crazy shit like cancer. We take care of, heart conditions. We take care of these weird anomalies that happen to people, But again, you break your leg, you're paying for it. It's not that expensive. You break your foot, you're paying for it. You sprain your knee, you're paying for it. This idea that you go to the doctor, you got a $20 copay, get rid of that shit. Otherwise, we do universal healthcare across the fucking board. But no one wants to agree on anything. It's just we just want to keep things going as it is. And truth is that it's unsustainable for most people, especially if you break that $30,000-$40,000 barrier in income. Well, then the amount of money and subsidies you get to pay for healthcare goes away. If you don't work for a corporation like Starbucks or like a Walmart or a JP Morgan or like a law firm or maybe one of these big manufacturing companies like I used to work for that has big, massive group plans. If you don't work for one of those companies, what do you do? How do you pay for insurance? Like, you're not going to have any fucking kids. Like, heaven forbid you have kids. You lose your job right now, making $70,000, $80,000 a year. You have to go buy insurance. It is unaffordable. So we got a lot of work to do here, guys. So I'm kind of being redundant here. Okay, Lou Becker, 8784. Bruh, in case anybody wasn't noticed, money is no longer quantifiable. Okay, well, I think I agree with what you're saying. I don't want to claim that I know what you're talking about, but I don't think money means anything anymore. And again, money means so little today. You might be able to get away with not ever paying taxes again. You might be able to get away with it. It doesn't seem like money even means anything. The government just prints it whenever it wants it. No one ever budgets. Our agencies don't have to pass audits. We don't even we won't even audit the place that has the money that used to be what we backed our dollar against. We don't even fucking audit that place. There's a lot of weird things. I don't think money means anything. Now, if you're a middle class wagey, right? You're someone like me and probably a lot of you. Again, taxes are everything. like you're gonna have to pay your taxes, But again, if you're the lower class, probably not. If you're the upper class, probably not. So, okay. Let's see. That's not true. Congress voted on the Afghanistan war. T Nod 64. Okay, well that's cool. So, T Nod, let me know. Is that the last one that we voted for? Because I think you're right. That makes sense. But again, all the more reason. Like if you're going to come attack America, well, then you could probably get America to go to war. But if you want to go fight a war where they haven't attacked America, it's kind of difficult, right? So we just need to come up. We need to let we need to let the executive branch decide what's good for the American people, right? We don't worry about asking Congress. We'll just go fight these wars, of choice. By the way, we'll just go fight all these wars. Hey, yeah, I think you could be right, but that might be the last war that we actually had a declaration of war from. All right. Let's see. Chamberlain was wrong. All right. Politics in the U.S. reminds me of pre-Pearl Harbor mistakes. Geography takes its toll, I guess. Well, maybe, man. Again, I'll take my two oceans over what you're talking about any day of the week. Again, and I'm one of these guys. Like I said, you want to come over here, you want to try the Pearl Harbor thing, the 9/11 thing. Great. At least we got a reason to go fucking destroy you. Okay. And again, wherever you're from, dude, I'm sure America's saved you once before already, so sit down. All right. Wow, they have a mirror and a piece of partially reflective glass above. Again, I don't know what you guys have. You guys are looking at something in my stream. There's no glass, and I get what you're doing there. Okay, I shared a link and they look really cool. Okay, cool, man. And again, I'll what I got off here? I'll check it out tonight. I think it's called an infinity table. Okay, cool. Yeah, that gives you something to look for. I don't keep up on all the trends, guys. As a furniture maker, someone owns a furniture company. Again, we have a very identifiable aesthetic, right? We generally make timeless pieces for the most part. We make stuff that's going to last forever. We use a lot of brass. We just use a lot of high quality stuff, and it's the only way I know how to make furniture. So we do some stain grade stuff. We'll do some stuff out of walnut, mahogany, and stuff like that, but not a ton of it. I would say a good 95% of everything I sell is high gloss lacquer. The finish that you can see your face in, that's what it is. So, all right, but I appreciate you guys letting me know that the affinity table. I will absolutely look it up. All right, usually there are lights between the panes. All right. Blue Moon, hell yeah, man. This is 716. 716, yeah. Okay. He's at Walter Reed right now. Okay, I don't know who you guys are talking about. Infinity Mirror Table. Yeah, got it. Got it, Mikado. I'll check it out, man. Again, I'm always looking for cool stuff. Again, the last table I built, guys, was a 15-foot crotch mahogany table. That was, I think it was 4 feet wide. It was 15 feet long. Wrapped the entire outside of it in brass. So it's pretty. Again, you guys probably see it on my Instagram. I'm sure I've put it on YouTube at one point or another. But that was the last table that I built. We also did. I think we did a 48-inch round. Black high gloss lacquer black foyer table that was also wrapped in brass, had brass balled feet and brass decorative accents. It went into something that we call the Washington Estate. We did I think we did something like 7 pieces for that house, all custom made pieces. It was a lot of fun. All right, let's see. I haven't been banned from here yet, so win-win. Been here before, you chill, and I haven't been banned here. Okay, well, Cynical, you're not going to get banned if you just put good stuff in here. All right, do you make your own cushions? No, no, we don't. We have a couple of upholsterers who do most of our upholstery for us. So basically, I don't talk upholstery too much. Let me take a sip here. So I guess what maybe we can. Let's define terms here. Okay, so when I call myself a furniture maker, basically what that means is I make case goods, right? So I'm going to make dressers, bookcases, maybe a headboard, every now and again. We do a lot of what are called tall boys. We'll do, like I said, tons of dressers. We'll build nightstands, desks, china cabinets. We build all that stuff here. But we don't do a ton of couches, right? So I did a video of a Ralph Lauren chair that I started to build. I built a mock-up of it, and I never got back around to building it. So every now and again, I'll build something that's kind of like chair-esque, But for the most part, we don't do a lot of our own upholstery. I do all my wife's wallpaper and all of her grass cloth and a ton of her upholstery at home, but I don't generally do much of it. We put a lot of Schumacher and Tebow papers and fabrics in the back of our big china cabinets. We do that for a lot of people, but again, we're not going to do things like cushions or that kind of upholstery. We're not gonna handle that kind of stuff. It's just not really in our wheelhouse, and we've got a couple of people to do it for us, So, but I hope that helps. All right, Ellie's in here. Ellie, good to see you. Federal cost for Medicaid, 594 billion, SNAP 100 billion, Medicare 1.1 trillion. And there you go. And again, Medicaid, if I'm not mistaken, was already cut like, what was it, a trillion dollars over 10 years, Ellie? And again, like, I don't think we should pay for any of this shit. I'm even one of these guys, I'm anti-paying for Medicare. Like, again, until Medicare can pay for itself, or again, until Medicare gets on a budget, this idea of pay as you go, I think is just a racket. And I don't think it's fair to the people that are paying taxes today. If you guys want to know the truth about illegal immigration, a lot of our country wants illegal immigration in this country because what happens is these people, when they come in here, they use fake Social Security numbers, but the money that they pay in payroll taxes goes into the coffers of Medicare, Medicaid, and this is how they fill that gap because Americans aren't having kids anymore. There aren't enough workers in America to pay for the boomers and their big fucking Medicare charges. And their Social Security, by the way, too. So again, illegal immigration really helps to cover the gap from the lack of people paying in the system here in America. That's one of the reasons the mass deportations will never happen. So it would just create too much of a budgetary collapse in this country. So there you go, Ellie. Thanks for the information. So. All right, Gada 778. And again, I got no problems with the boomers. I like the boomers. Again, my parents are boomers. They're great people. Yada yada. I'm Gen X. The problem is that the system that they're benefiting from today is not being paid for by them, and they did not pay enough into the system, both on the Social Security and the Medicare side. Right? If it was being paid for, if Trump would come in and say, you know what, retirees, we're gonna have to kick you guys up to whatever 76. Like, I think that's perfectly acceptable. You know why? Because again, no one expected the boomers to live as long as they're going to live. People are living into their 90s and 100 years old. It wasn't designed to pay for 50 years of your life, especially when you got less people paying into it. So again, no shade on those people. They won the game. I get it. They'll probably never. Trump will, whatever president is always going to pander to them for the voter base, so they'll always get their Medicare and their Social Security, and that's fine. But it's all the previous generations, the up and coming generations, they're going to have to pay for it, and they're all going to get less. And it's, I just think it's a damn shame, So there you go. Ghana 7787. We are only required to pay income taxes if we live and work in DC. Okay, well, that's interesting to know. I didn't know that. All right, Ellie says extra funds requested for Iran. 200. Yeah, no, that's complete horseshit. Again, we spend $1 trillion fucking dollars a year on the military. You tell me you don't have an extra $200 billion dollars you can, you can pull out of one of your fucking black holes that you guys put money into. Like maybe you could, maybe you could find $200 billion dollars if the Fed would, the Department of Defense would actually pass an audit. Okay, they haven't passed an audit in 8 years. I'm sure they could find $200 billion there. Or hey, here's a wild idea. Instead of having just one or two companies that make all of our shit, why don't we try having 100 or 200 military defense contractors? Instead of having one company, Raytheon, making the Patriot missile, why aren't there 10 companies making the Patriot missile, right? How come we don't have a whole shit ton of people making F-35s? Oh, we can't do that. It's not fair. The expense is too much. Like, I don't give a fuck. Like, you need competition. You have got to have competition, guys. And this is one of the things that sucks about our military industrial complex. There's no competition. There's no real innovation. I mean, we're finding out that a lot of the equipment, the military equipment that we're actually getting to play with finally over here in Iran, we're finding out that it kind of sucks. You got a bunch of people that live in the fucking desert, right? They're literally creating drones to take out our $12 billion aircraft carriers. They're taking down our F-35 fighters. They're knocking down our A-10 Warheads. They're knocking down our C-130s. They're knocking down our Black Hawk helicopters, right? They're doing all kinds of damage to us. Like, and again, this isn't a shit talking thing on the military, but like, maybe we could come with something a little bit better. Maybe we should get some real innovation going on here instead of the same 7 or 8 companies bidding on everything year after year after year after year after year. Maybe just wild idea. Maybe it's not good that it takes whatever a month to build a Tomahawk missile. When the people in Iran can build, what do they build, like 1,000 drones a month? Like give me a break. Like our military industrial complex is a joke. Our capacity to manufacture in America is a joke. It's nothing like it was even 40 years ago. It's a joke. We got the smartest people ever, and we can't fucking make anything. Our military industrial complex is just like the California Bridge to Nowhere. Their high-speed rail project started out as $33 billion. Now it's like $125 billion. They haven't built any fucking rail yet. It's like our Francis Scott Key Bridge in Baltimore, Maryland. The same thing. We can't. There's literally a bridge already there. It just happened to get hit by a barge. We just build the same fucking bridge. They're not even done designing that bridge yet. It's been 2 years. Okay, this is it's perfect microcosm for everything that we have that's wrong about this country. The reason you guys can't buy anything, the reason everything's so expensive, because we don't make anything here. We don't do any real work here. It's all thinking work. It's all, oh, let me get back to you on that. I got to go ask 10 other people. Jesus Christ, man. All right, where are we at here? Seagrass, you got to rate your comment. Ellie, rate your comment. Cynical, biased, turd. Over 50% of the USA's money goes to social programs. And again, I got no problems with that. I personally don't want to see that, but again, I would much rather 80% of all of our money went to social programs. Just stop sending it to the third world. Stop sending it to the Middle East. Stop sending it to Europe. Stop sending it to Ukraine. Stop buying bombs. Like, stop it. Stop it. Stop sending all that shit out to the rest of the world. I'm tired of it. I'm done with it. I'm over it. Pay off the student loans. Again, give everyone health care. I don't care at this point. Stop sending the money outside of this country. We got enough problems here. So Signal Base says only 20% goes to funding military and war. Okay. Again, I get it. It doesn't sound like a big number. It's too big of a number. And again, if you want to spend $1 trillion on the military, great. Spend $1 trillion, but keep it here. And the truth is that's not what we do. The military industrial complex thrives on war. So again, you might say, oh, there's only $1 million or $1 trillion that are going to the military industrial complex here, right? But again, how many people in Israel are buying bombs, right? How many people over in Saudi Arabia are buying our weapons, right? How many people over in Singapore are buying our weapons? How many people over in Europe are buying our weapons, okay? We are the largest producer of munitions in the world, okay? So it's massive money, guys. So all right, let's see. We're not giving money, Baldy. All right, stop begging. I don't know what I'm begging for. Jim Carney, 5984. The un-United States of America. Yeah, we're in trouble. Okay, you fuck it, you own it. Bruno. Yeah, I agree, man. All right, Bruno's mine now. All right, Tyler Durd, man, great name. This is embarrassing. All right, cool, man. Appreciate your comment. All right, Blue Moon is pretty good, brother. If you ever see Shock Top pretzel weed, it's very unique beer. It tastes like fresh pretzels. That's incredible, man. I love Shock Top beer, by the way. I drink Shock Top whenever you can't get Blue Moon. Shock Top's great. It's another Belgian wheat, guys. If you're into beers at all. But I've never tried their pretzel. I have seen it. I've never tried it. Generally, whenever I go to a restaurant, I always get the pretzel. I always get the pretzel with the beer cheese dip. So yeah. All right, Chamberlain was wrong. U.S. has an isolationist over-involvement pendulum swing cycle that seems idiotic, and it makes me worried with Chinese plans. The U.S. only has enough interceptors for North Korean nukes and not enough stockpiles. Well, Chamberlain was wrong. Again, I don't think that North Korea is a problem. I just don't. Again, if you just look at the history of nuclear weapons, guys, go look at every country, the way that they were acting to their neighbors prior to getting nuclear weapons. And what you're going to find out is they were all shouting death to whoever. They were all fighting with each other constantly. They were all building up missiles. They were all just constantly agitating each other. And the minute one of them gets a nuke, most of it goes away. And again, I'm not saying that that's what Iran would do. But I'm telling you guys, that is what happens. Like, it's undeniable. The only country that's ever done a nuke is the first country to get them, which was America. We dropped 2 of them, and that was the end of it. And now Japan's our best friend. So again, if we want to extrapolate that, maybe we nuke Iran, and then Iran becomes our best friend. Our second best friend after Japan. Like, I don't know, but that's ridiculous. But again, if you just look at the history of it, like nuclear weapons, they stabilize. They don't. No one ever uses them. They're the ultimate deterrent, and that's what everyone's really terrified of. Everyone's just terrified that you won't be able to push this country of Iran around. That's all it boils down to. If we were so worried about crazy fucking countries, we would go attack North Korea because North Korea shoots missiles over Japan all the time, right? North Korea is constantly testing things and doing little thises and that's, and again, no one even talks about them because they're a non-issue. The problem with that is that they don't have any oil. That's the thing. So again, the only country over the Middle East that's pushing back or putting up any kind of a fight with anyone is Iran. And so you got to go crush them. Everyone else has fallen in line except this one country, which happens to be the biggest of all of them. They don't want anything to do with any of the things that we're selling. They don't want anything to do with the Abraham Accords. They just want to be left the fuck alone. And everyone's saying, oh my God, they're proxies. I hear this proxies thing all the time. Okay. America is the greatest proxy that has ever existed. Okay. We've been involved in destabilizing so many countries. It's just insane. So again, you can say that I'm anti-American. You say that I hate the troops. You can say that I'm a Muslim lover. You can say whatever I want. But the truth is the truth. And again, like just do a little bit of research. Take 30 seconds to do a couple of Google searches, and you guys will find out that America's behind all kinds of stuff. And again, I don't want that. That's not what I don't think that's good for the world. I don't think it's good for us. So, all right. Who's this? Tyler Dirt. Okay, message was redacted. EK Beer. I can't pronounce it. Okay, brash looks so nice. Do you use coatings like phosphoric acid on the steel you use or other corrosion resistant finishes? No. Generally, what we do with all of our finishes is we generally only deal with brass. Right. So again, brass doesn't corrode. Right. It's a fantastic metal. It's timeless. It lasts forever. You can put it in water. It doesn't do anything. However, it does tarnish. Right. So that's oxidation. Right. So when that metal starts to tarnish, some people really like that look. So we won't do anything in those cases. But for the people that don't like the tarnished look of brass, that aged patina, we'll just put lacquer over it. Sometimes I will even wax it. I'll put paste wax on it, and that protects it as well. But as far as like steels and things like that, we generally prime and paint steels that we do. Steels aren't decorative. Other kinds of hardware, all the hardware that makes us brass or nickel, and we treat it all the same. So we don't do a lot of different kinds of coatings on metals. So I hope that's helpful. All right, Bruno Perot or Peral, maybe. Let's see. Need to cut Medicaid another trillion. I know it's like it's kind of disgusting, And again, I'm one of these guys. I don't think we should fucking give welfare to anyone. But you've already cut it a trillion. Like you're going to pay for your bombs and cut it by another. Like why don't you cut some of that Medicare funding, or maybe you should cut some of that Social Security money. And then everyone say, "Oh my God, we paid in. We deserved it. We earned it." Yeah, but you're taking twice as much as you paid in for. And again, there's less people coming in to pick up the slack for you guys, and I don't know, man. It's so frustrating what we spend money on. All right, T.64, Ellie, how much tax money do you send to Israel so they can have free Medicare education in wars? I know this is what I talk about on the stream, guys. And again, like no shade against the state of Israel. Like good on them. They won the war, so to speak. But again, they have all the shit that again a lot of Americans say they want here. We can't seem to get here. Things like Medicare, universal health care, universal child care, promotion of the family unit, the nuclear family, these kind of things. Same thing with Europe. We defend Europe. We're constantly, being the backstop for those guys. They have all the shit that apparently Americans want, but we can't get it here. Okay, we got money for bombs. We don't got any money for healthcare. So, all right. Bruno Pro, fuck the student loans. Need to raise the interest on student loans to 20%. Well, I don't know if they're going to raise the interest on student loans, but if you guys keep seeing this inflationary spiral that we're seeing on energy, you're going to see inflation here in America to be 5, 6, 7%. And then the Fed's going to have to raise rates on everything. And guess what? You guys are going to see 10% home loans. Or like back when my parents were buying them, 15% to go buy. If you think homes are unaffordable now, wait till you got a 50% mortgage. So yeah, we got crazy times coming, guys. All right, cruise control 31 Helfers. I'm not sure Heifers. I'm not sure you said that. I understand, but if you see warmongers on YouTube, such as HIOPS and escalation like this is very likely in Asia. Yeah, I agree. Just get out. Like if you could, I mean, just play both scenarios, right? So if we stick around, what does America get? Nothing. We're not going to get cheaper energy, right? And I've told you guys where I think this is all China play. I don't think this has anything to do with Iran. It's more of a China-Russia play. But what do we get? I mean, we're not going to get cheaper energy. You're not going to get cheaper steak. Your automobiles aren't going to be cheaper. Your property taxes aren't going to go down. Like this helps us in no way, shape, or form. Now, if we just leave, what happens? Nothing. Absolutely nothing happens. You still end with the same thing. Yeah, Israel's probably just going to sweep through there and kill everyone, and it'll just be, genocide 2.0, genocide 3.0, so on and so forth. They're like, fine, whatever. It doesn't affect us. It doesn't do anything for us. It doesn't make the cost of our lives cheaper. It doesn't make our lives better. It doesn't give us more access to anything. We're still gonna, want permits and inspections on every little thing that we do. You're still gonna be pushing for solar panels and fucking wind farms, whether or not we're over there in Israel or not, or in Iran or not. It doesn't matter. So it's such a waste of time. It's such a waste of time. Zach Quarter, 8681. Yeah, the CIA overthrew the secular government Iran. Yeah, again, they wanted to keep the oil for themselves, so we're like, fuck that. You're going to put that oil on the market. Everyone needs to have access to that oil, specifically America. And yeah, but again, no one wants to talk about that, right? All right. Also, Iran was Simburo space launcher that can send satellites to low Earth orbits. So at least prior to the war, they could build ICBMs, C-7, R-7, and the Sputnik was scary. And again, I don't care if they build ICBMs. I don't give a shit. I don't care. I'm pretty confident in our ability to shoot ICBMs out of the sky. If anyone ever was crazy enough to shoot one over here, and guess what? Shoot an ICBM into America. Great. Then maybe we can get America on board, and yeah, we'll go take care of Iran. We'll go take care of it Texas style, and we'll be back here, before supper. But that's not what we're doing, guys. You're not getting the country on board. You're not. What America does well is, man, when America gets together on something, it is over. And again, the history has shown it time and time again. You fucking get America galvanized, and it's your ass. But we haven't done that in a long time, and it's too bad. So, all right. There's no jobs. This is RJW says, yeah, there's jobs. They're just not. They don't pay what they used to pay. And the money that you guys get from those jobs doesn't buy what it used to buy. And we gotta fix that. And the only way I see it, guys, is with some kind of a recession, a depression type situation. Because contrary to popular belief, we need deflation. And again, when all the experts are telling you guys, no, we just got to grow the economy. Trust me, your salaries are going to pay enough, right? You're going to be able to afford a home someday. The wages are going to grow, right? We're going to grow this economy, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 10% growth. And your guys' salaries are going to go up. And I'm here to tell you guys that's not how it works. It doesn't work that way. And you can tell me it does, but I'm here to tell you it doesn't. Again, when you have so many businesses using the third world to make all the shit, and then they're bringing the third world in here so they don't have to pay you guys the salaries and benefits that you deserve as being Americans, it's not going to happen. And again, when the Fed just prints money whenever there's a shortfall in the budget because this country has never, budgeted in its fucking life, that they're just going to continue to inflate away every previous generation. They're just going to keep inflating everything. And it's too bad. No one wants to do what needs to be done. And again, I listen to a lot of financial podcasts and stuff like that. And again, the people that are on the know in the financing side, they understand what's happening. Like, you guys, we got to get rid of the Fed. The Fed has got to go. You got to turn the money printer off. If the federal government cannot or will not balance its budget in any way, shape, or form, you guys never build forward homes. You guys want to see the interest rates come down? You got to give the bondholders a reason to buy bonds. And if you constantly have to jack up the amount of the interest rate you're willing to pay to convince someone to buy our debt, you're never going to be able to afford a home, guys. I don't think it's that complicated, but anyway, what do I know? All right, look at that. I made it to the comments, guys. Check this out. Amazing. See, Chamberlain was wrong. Nuclear deterrent is about mathematics. More interceptors and less nuclear tipped ICBMs, etc. By the way, sorry for the spamming. I keep accidentally sending prematurely. Well, that's cool, Chamberlain. No worries. I guess, man. I don't think about this stuff very much, if I'm being completely honest. I just assume that America has the most badass military. We have the most deterrence. We have the best NORAD system, Aegis 1 systems. Like, we got all these crazy systems, and I just assume that the military will take care of any of that kind of stuff. Maybe I'm wrong. The whole interceptors thing, again, I hear the stuff about interceptors. I don't know anything about that stuff, but I appreciate putting the comments in here and contributing to the discussion. I just know we need to work on this country a little more, so. All right, there's thousands of jobs for millions of people. Yeah, I get it, man. And again, it seems like a lot of people have multiple jobs now. Like, I hear that a lot with people. People, they work one job and then they go work in the next job. And again, as a business owner, I would want to give everyone overtime. But with the kind of labor rules we have here, the amount of money we got to pay people, I mean, it's very difficult to give people just infinite amounts of overtime. It just doesn't work anymore, which is too bad as well. Cruise Control 831, I was replying to your beer preferences. I love Hefeweizen. Oh, man, you're going deep. Hefeweizen is like Blue Moon and Shock Top. Anyway, I don't mind. Yeah, so I'm from Oregon, man. So I used to drink Hefeweizen a lot. I used to drink Pyramid Hefeweizen and Henry Weinhard's, Widmer Brothers. Hefeweizen. So yeah, I love Hefeweizen beers. So let's see. Hefeweizen is like Blue Moon and Shock Top. Yeah, I've had lots of Hefeweizen beers. So all right, Glads and all the time, can't lie. Home prices are completely out of control. Yeah, and again, like you guys want to know what kind of an economy you're in. Like just look at the cost of homes. I mean, you're seeing homes gone up 30, 40, 50% in 5 years. Like that's unsustainable. But you don't hear anyone saying, we need to build some fucking houses. We need a program like we had after World War II when all the soldiers were coming home. They needed a place to live. They needed places to start families. It doesn't work here anymore. I don't know why. Again, Trump's a real estate guy. Trump's understands supply and demand in housing and commercial building and residential building, but he doesn't want to do anything about it. I don't know if it's just because he's afraid of his voter base or if you're afraid of the boomers. Like it seems to be like the boomers have more control over the voter, the way this country operates that I've ever seen. And again, so no shade against the boomers. It just seems like they really protect everything that's important to you guys. Meanwhile, most of us, all we want to do is just be able to afford a fucking house, not have to work 80 hours a week, to be able to afford the basics. Maybe have some kids, buy a 3-bedroom, 2-bath home that isn't, in bumfuck Egypt, might be in the suburbs, in a decent neighborhood. Like I don't know. I'm talking to myself now at this point. All right, guys, last couple comments. How you get here? See. Let's see. So near 2 was up. Near 2 hour. Yeah, I know. I didn't do a chat this morning, Bathy. I had stuff going on this morning, and I decided to talk here about 3 o'clock. And yeah, we're in for 2 hours. You guys know how to do it. I can just go back and forth with you guys for hours. This is literally like going to the bar for me. Again, I'm not a bar guy. I don't go hang out. I generally am either hanging out with my wife or I'm at work. So this is like Cheers to me, right? The place where everyone knows your name, where our problems are all the same. And again, I try to talk to you about real life and about kind of what's going on as a normie business owner, a guy, just trying to fucking, make payroll every week and hire some people, employ some people, make some cool shit for my customers. And again, just try to show people kind of what it's like and what, the way that we think and the bullshit that we deal with, So, all right, I have 2 jobs and work too hard, usually to get crazy, used to get crazy. Yeah, and again, I'm sorry, dude. Like, again, if you work in an industry like aerospace, so this is gods into all time. Again, I'm not sure I'm saying it right. Get into aerospace, dude. Yeah, I don't know what it is that you do, what your profession is, but again, aerospace always has tons of overtime. You're always working at least 60 hours a week. You can work as much as 80 hours a week most of the time. That's how it was my time. I mean, I did it for decades, like literally 2 decades, and it was always available. The least amount I would generally work would be like 55 hours. We used to we do 5 10s, and then we do a half day on Saturday, and that was normal. And then for a year, I did like 80 hours a week for almost the entire year when I moved down to Tulsa. Big paychecks then, but wish I would have had that no tax on overtime. But yeah, I mean, you just got to find the right industry. There are industries that have a lot of overtime. I've heard construction has a lot of overtime. I haven't been in it a long time, so I couldn't tell you that. But yeah, sorry, dude. All right, let's see exactly. Those are the prices that affect every citizen, gas and real estate. Yeah, and again, you got to get people excited about the future, guys. And again, as I get older, I'm just realizing this. As a business owner, like all I really want to do is pass this thing down to my kids. That would be really nice. It'd be nice if I could siphon off maybe 2 or 3,000 bucks a month for myself, give it to the kids, let them run it. But I don't know, man. I don't know if people want businesses anymore. I don't know if people want to do this shit. It could be a real pain in the ass. It can be very taxing on you from time to time, and it never shuts off. So, but anyway, guys, I get out of here. You guys are great. I appreciate everyone and taking the time and hanging out with me and just shooting the shit. It was good. Any of the super chats, Mr. Mercado, I appreciate it. Mercado 16. Always love the super chats, guys. Anyone that helps support this channel, I appreciate it. And you guys have a great day. And oh boy, we got one more super chat in here. This is see God's and all of all time. God's aunt of all time. Okay. Well, I appreciate your time. And again, I appreciate the super chat as always. And it's always nice to give people support. So again, I make my money in the furniture game, guys. Go to the resplendentcrow.com if you want to see what it is that I sell. And again, I'm not selling you guys bullshit. There's no courses. There's no Chinese t-shirts and hats and mugs. And all I sell is furniture. It's just a regular business. And again, come in here. I talk usually once a day, sometimes in the morning. Most of the time in the morning, about 6 o'clock, and we do an hour or 2 and just kind of go over whatever you guys want to talk about. I usually pick a topic and try and kind of steer the conversation. I try to do headlines for you, give you guys something to think about for the day, and that's what I do. So you guys have a good day, and holy shit, we got one more coming in here. All right, man. Well, again, I really appreciate the super chats. You guys make my day, and again, it makes it all worthwhile. God saint of all time. Okay, thank you so much. Yeah, and now I see it, saint. I just when it's all jumping together, sometimes it can be hard to see, especially when you're reading quickly and talking quickly. It can be hard to parse out all the words that people put in their names. So, God saint of all time. All right, well, I really do appreciate it. Thanks for the super chat as always. And guys, I gotta get out of here. I got a vanity to work on. I'm doing campaign vanity, right? We're doing big brass hardware on it. It's made out of walnut, quarter figured walnut, and it should look pretty nice when it's done. So you guys have a great day. And again, thank you so much. I really do appreciate it. Have a good one.